Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get into as the offseason is officially here in the NBA. Moves all over the place, rumors all over the place about what could happen in terms of trades, in terms of the draft tomorrow night. A lot of NBA news out there. We'll talk a lot about that. We'll also do a little bit an NBA ranking later in the show that will be a lot of fun. We got to talk a lot of football as well, college and the NFL news all over the place for both. So plenty to get to, baseball as well. A lot to get to over the next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for helping me out yesterday. Absolutely. And it hit me today that the rest of this year we will only crown one more team championship.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be baseball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I think that's the first time I've ever designated Major League Baseball. When I say baseball,
yeah, that's right.
I mean baseball.
Yeah. But good job designating it, I guess.
One more, late October, early November. Yeah. Now, we know both college and pro football, most of the work, not entirely though anymore, and sure not for the NFL. You know, that's a regular season game and the whole round of playoffs in the new calendar year, but most of it's done it will be done in the fall, and basketball, college and pro both start in the fall, but we know with March Madness in April with one shining moment. And the NBA having just finished. We're going to have fun at 4:30 today. And before we do it, I want to explain to everyone with Oklahoma City winning, that's of the current 30 NBA teams, where they are now and who they are now. And I know the Wizards have changed from the Bullets, but we're going to count that. 18 of the 30 have won a title, so that leaves 12. We're going to rank, you and Landon and I are going to rank 1 through 12. We want everybody to give, if you don't want to go through all 12, tell us where the Grizzlies rank. Give us your top 5 or 6. If you want to go 1 through 12, please do at 901-360-8255. We're going to go 1 through 12 of who could join the club next year. Might not be any of them. It may be 0 for 12 next year. I think it probably will be, especially with the Tyrese Halliburton injury. But we'll go 1 through 12. We know the Rochester Royals won it, and they're now the Sacramento Kings. We're counting it as Sacramento Kings. And we know, what was the other one?
Atlanta.
Yeah. We know they won it as the St. Louis Hawks, defeated the Boston Celtics. I think played the Celtics 2 or 3 years in a row. I know 2 in a row in classics. But we're counting it as in Atlanta. We did the very same last year, not counting the Seattle Supersonics as the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun, and I think I was kind of peeking over Landon's shoulder trying to look at his list. I think at least the top of the list is very similar, so this will be a lot of fun. And the big one is kind of where do we all have Memphis going?
I bet we don't have a group lock at 1. I bet we don't.
Okay. I almost guarantee we probably don't. But,
yeah, I'm feeling that too.
Yeah, but I kind of
think
like.
we may
like
have a group lock at 11 and 12, but we'll see. Okay. We're going to do that. Lot of lists. It's list season.
No, it definitely is list season.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean that's June for you. Lists everywhere.
There you go.
For every sport.
April, May, June, list season, July, August.
That's right.
And we are the new 13th month.
That's right, and we're officially in list season because there is, and it's every sport. I mean, there's not a sport out there that you can't go onto some website or go listen to somebody or go watch somebody putting together a list. I know Landon earlier today had the quarter century team for the NFL that was put out on ESPN.
Great idea.
It was an interesting list, to say the least.
Get balled up in offensive linemen, but
no, I don't think
I
you want
love
to go
them,
that
but I
deep.
don't want to get balled up in them.
Sure, but quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers.
Well, they were on there. They were on the list.
Oh yeah, of course.
We just
didn't. Well, who's our? All right, real quick. Who's our quarterback for the 21st century?
Tom Brady.
Of course.
Yeah, that's easy, isn't it?
Easily. No question about it. But ESPN had a big omission on running back that Lan and I were very, very against. Adrian
the omission being, may I guess?
Oh, please guess.
We have not talked about this, have we?
No, we have not.
Frank Gore. omitted?
He was not on the list.
He was omitted, yes.
He was omitted, but
that's
that is
a big
not
omission.
That is a big omission. That is not the big omission that we discussed and we're very, very mad about.
Help me out.
He was the running back of
was.
the 2000s.
Yeah,
LT.
That was another one.
He was on the quote-unquote
Well, who the
practice
hell made
squad.
it?
Who did make it? I don't even remember.
It was Pierce Holmes
Pierce Holmes.
as number 1,
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey at number 2, and Derrick Henry at number 3.
Adrian Peterson was the big one that we
Yeah.
were
Oh,
all
no
so
doubt.
shocked on.
Yeah. We still can't believe
Oh
it.
yeah, we were
From
spit mad.
Palestine, Texas.
That's right.
I know it looks like Palestine. I know it's pronounced in the Middle East. I have been through his hometown of Palestine, Texas. It is pronounced just like Palestine, Arkansas. I don't let anybody else tell you any differently, especially live, local, and late breaking
That's right.
weather.
That's right. Oh yeah. Oh man. Those
It is Palestine, Arkansas.
those small towns. They'll get a meteorologist every now and
Sorry.
then.
Priest
And
Holmes.
when you're told this is how it's been pronounced for hundreds of years,
That's right.
go with it.
Yeah. No, for real. But hey, hopefully.
Adrian Peterson. I
Peterson's
wonder.
on there.
The first two.
Yeah, crazy.
Christian McCaffrey, is that
Crazy.
Is that not big heat of the moment?
Feels like it, and I mean,
It wasn't that hot last year.
and I was about to say,
The moment wasn't real scorching.
last couple years he's barely played. So I mean, that's got to be a factor in there. But yeah, I was shocked when we were looking at it,
Unbelievable.
and Landon was saying, guess the running backs on here, and I was going, all right, well, LT's on there, and Adrian Peterson's on
he
there.
said CJ2K
I
first.
said CJ2K I think, because he was like, the way he posed the question, he was like, you'll never believe the running backs that are on here. So I was like trying to be like, okay, who was kind of like an under the radar running back that might be on that list? So I was like, CJ2K could certainly be on there, and I whiffed on all of them. So
Do you think all three of those we talked about, AP, LT, and who was mine?
yours was Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
Yeah.
Do you think that is, here we go, ring collecting, all three, none of them with a ring?
Well, that's a good point. It certainly could be. I didn't think about that, but you might be on something.
Well, Henry
Brett.
doesn't have a ring either.
He doesn't, but it's still active.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's still a beast.
Yeah. You might be onto something, Brett.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
rings matter.
It's
They
that
do.
ring culture.
It is. It's it is important, but man, I'd fight somebody if they're telling me Adrian Peterson doesn't go on the list
Well, no
because
kidding,
he
Brian.
because he
Y-
doesn't have
y'all
a
are so
ring.
right.
I mean, I would.
I'm embarrassed I didn't guess
Yeah.
him first for
I
Frank
mean,
Gore.
it's a fun exercise. It really makes you start thinking about who were those great players 10, 15 years ago. So that was fun to look
But
at.
we really are we have moved on from the Y2K and the turn of the century.
No,
we're rolling.
Yeah, 2025. Yeah, big
We
2025.
almost could do teams of just this decade already.
Oh yeah, no, you absolutely could. Yeah, I mean,
Because we got half the sample size in.
yeah, you absolutely do. I mean, it's
We got more lists today. We start with Bo Marchant today with
yeah, we do.
with our quarterbacks, and we're going to start in the Beast in the NFC East.
Yep, this was
And
difficult.
y'all
for
are
me.
going to love my list, and there is a overwhelming common denominator. We'll see if y'all can get it when I give you mine.
Okay, I can't wait. Mine was hard to do. I mean, I sat there for a while trying to figure out where I wanted to put a certain somebody and where I wanted to put everyone else. So that it took me a while to get this list out, but I'm happy with the way the list came out. I think.
I think I know we'll invoke this with Brent Beard, and we may get into it a little more detailed. EA Sports College Football.
Oh yes.
Top 25 toughest places to play.
Heck yeah.
And once again, last year it was number 1. This year, Kyle Field at Texas A&M, number 11. With all due respect, and I really do mean it, it is beautiful to go to. They are just enchantingly kind on that campus. The whole setting is almost like the Stepford Wives. It's just perfect. Every building, everything's so manicured, everything's so clean, they're so kind. It's big. It's the nicest. If we had the nicest, literally and figuratively, place in college football to play, Kyle Field would be number 1. The opposing locker room is too nice. It's 11 on the list. It's not tough to play it. It's just not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said last year, and they were number one. And then I think
they didn't do anything to improve it.
no,
did they?
no, certainly not. Oh, well, clearly they must have gone down. I think if I remember correctly, when the game came out last year, they were number one, and I believe they did some sort of update, like halfway, couple months after the game dropped, and moved them down from number one. So, you were. It doesn't seem like you were the only one that was saying this is off. They should not be the number one team on this list. But now Tiger Stadium, number one this year for the.
It's not
for the
even
toughest
close.
place to play.
That's so right on. It is.
Yeah.
It just is. Anybody that doubts it, you haven't been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's it. And I was about to say, you've been to a lot of these places. I mean, there's for
let's see here.
one, a lot of SEC flavor on here.
Well, I've been to 1 Tiger Stadium, 3 Ohio Stadium, 4 Sanford Stadium, 5 BDS, Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yep.
Let's get the name right, EA Sports. Number 7, the Swamp,
Yep.
Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. I've never been to OU going this year, but I haven't been, so that's 5 of the top 7. Then Kyle Field, 6 out of 11. Neyland, 7 out of 12. Neyland Stadium's so much tougher than Kyle Field. For them to be behind that's laughably bad. So it's 7. Been to DKR, so 8 out of 13. Williams Price, please. 9 out of 16. Please. I mean, South Carolina, get over yourselves. 9 out of 16. Jordan-Hare, much tougher than Kyle Field. So it'd be 10 out of 17 I've been to. And number 25 at Mississippi State. So 11 out of 25. That's
Pretty
not
good.
bad.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad. I say we write a letter or an email. I don't, 2025. I don't know how many people are sending letters anymore. I say we send an email to.
I want to send a telegram.
Send a telegram. Send a carrier pigeon, Brett. We're going to send something to EA Sports and propose that you are head of
No.
toughest places to play.
I don't want the responsibility.
I think you'd be good at it.
And I don't want all that smoke coming back at me.
Well, yeah. Well, the beauty of it is no names associated to it. It's just EA Sports, so you can.
Though I'd love to go to a game at Husky Stadium
in
Seattle.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be really fun.
I think about every one of these are on my college football only bucket list.
Yeah, no, there are some great stadiums on here to go to, and
I can't believe I hadn't been to Clemson.
Yeah,
I've never seen Clemson play in person.
Really?
Can you believe that?
That is very hard to believe. That's very hard to believe.
That is.
Yeah, well, it's a good list there for toughest place to play. I'm just glad they got number one right, Tiger Stadium. That is, I mean, by far the right answer for toughest places to play.
I think a big miss on here. Again, I've never been to Carter Finley Stadium.
Sure.
I've never been to Rice Eccles. Look, there's a lot of them. I said 11 out of 25. Going to Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Razorback Stadium should be Razorback Stadium's tougher than South Carolina.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I haven't been to either, but I would, just seeing it on television, I would say yes. I would have to agree with that.
About the same size, close enough. Much nicer. The amenities, the suites and party areas, and I think the general seating area. Razorback Stadium is much nicer from South Carolina.
We'll do a little inside baseball here for what I think is why South Carolina is in the top 20 on this list. And Brett, this is going to bore you probably, but this year's game has made an emphasis on pregame presentation and the lights at South Carolina and how they go out and flash and all that stuff. That has been big in this game, and so I think that is why they are so high.
South Carolina does that presentation very, very well, and even through a lot of lean years, it's always full and always rabid, and the pregame tailgate scene's good. Now, it's a little odd. It's not on campus. It's a little removed from campus.
Really?
Not that much, but it is. It would be about what the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium is to what I call to the administration building at the University of Memphis, which I call the main campus.
Sure.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I know there are other parts of campus, and that's not unusual at a lot of places.
Campus. Yeah.
But it has a feel, a little bit of going to War Memorial. State Fairgrounds are right by it, but it's removed from campus. And the pregame setup is great, but it's not Razorback Stadium, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you on that. So that's It's an interesting list. There lists
They're
everywhere.
on the
Brett.
list because of Lenoris God sellers.
Well, that might be another thing too.
I mean, when your middle name's God, I mean,
Hey,
you got to have your stadium on there, don't you?
I mean, you gotta be high on every list, Brett. You're just automatically in the top 20. No matter
Never
what the
forget
list
this,
is.
Brian. It does not matter how big the balloon is.
Mm-hmm.
The tiniest straight pin can burst that balloon.
Oh, that's true.
So big old balloon with South Carolina this year. Little bitty straight pins, all it's going to take to pop it.
It's a good point. That is a really good point. But everybody, it feels like running away with Lenoris Sellers and the hype around
Makes
him.
me want to go the other direction even more,
I was
and
about
going
to. Say,
to.
You know, we talked about it. I forgot what we were talking about. With when everyone runs one way, it's maybe run the other way. This feels like the scenario where you do that.
Let me give you an example. Something that hits really close to home. Wouldn't you say a year ago everybody was running in the Ole Miss direction? Mm-hmm. Look how smart somebody would have looked. Just say, well, I think really good, but 9-3, not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Look, just that.
Yeah. Oh,
just
man.
clear your throat. Say that. You don't have to dogpile them. You don't have to, really broadside. And I'm going to do both of those in South Carolina before opening day. But look how you would have differentiated yourself just last year.
Oh, absolutely. And there are cases like that every single year. You just gotta find them, and you just gotta make that case.
Have some facts to back it up, and not be scared to be different, guy.
Absolutely. I'm with you, and so it sounds like you're going to be different from everybody on South Carolina because I haven't seen many people that are anywhere near being low on South Carolina.
Right, I'm going to be different, guy, on the entire SEC writ large, 1 through 16. Yeah. And I may actually get kicked out of the SEC Lapdog Club.
Whoa! All right. Wow. Maybe if we're doing mid-year resolutions, maybe that's your mid-year resolution.
Boy, I didn't get to it yesterday. But did you see where Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, that he's buying a piece of what soccer team?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, Woody Johnson is buying Crystal Palace.
Okay.
And they have a standards. I'm going to look it up, and before we leave today, you talking about something that just absolute screams at soccer and at Premier League.
That's right.
They have you have to take a test before you can be an owner, and it's more commonly known in like the Good Persons Club, or I'm going to find the exact name.
Holy cow. Yeah, I want to hear more about that because I have not seen that. And, that sounds
It
wild.
screams Premier League.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited about that. Well, we've got a very busy show today, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we're going to talk some baseball. Cardinals got a win over the Cubs last night. They'll run it back again later this evening. Cal Raleigh just doesn't stop hitting home runs. Number 32 last night. A lot of good stuff out of Major League Baseball that we'll get to at 3:30. 3:45, we'll get into the NBA draft tomorrow night. The first round of the NBA draft will take place. We know again this year a 2-night event for the NBA draft. Round 1 on Wednesday, round 2 on Thursday. So we'll talk about the NBA draft, what we expect to see, and some of the things we're hearing from the draft that gets started tomorrow night. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville will join us, talk a ton of college football. 4:30, that's when we're going to get to our rankings that Brett mentioned earlier. There's 12 teams in the NBA that have never won a title. We're going to list those teams from 12 all the way to 1, with 1 being the team that has the best chance to do it next year, all the way down to the team that we think has the worst chance of doing it next year. So we'll do that at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Beau Marchant will join us to talk NFL, and we'll also get to more rankings there. NFC East quarterback rankings, we'll do that at 5 o'clock with Beau Marchant. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's and Humdinger's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's pool time, and Family Leisure is already booking pool installs for 2025. Buy now and get on the list for your pool installation. 2024 pools starting at $19.99 installed, with liners starting at $299. And right now, all pool accessories are up to 20% off. Don't forget about 5 to 6 person hot tubs. They're starting right now at $69.99, and swim spas and cold plunge tubs are now $2,000 off. And the patio furniture select sets are now up to 50% off. And if you mention this ad, get free installation only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt. We are Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show on any topic. Call or text us at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Always from our Family Leisure Studios. In this hour, always brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. They're at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Ready for the 26s to start arriving at Lexus of Memphis. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the trades that are going down in the NBA. Tomorrow night is the NBA draft. We knew there would be a lot of movement before the draft, but we are seeing a ton. Late last night, about 10:30, Shams broke the news that the Boston Celtics have traded Drew Holiday to the Portland Trail Blazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. A move we know Boston is going to make a lot of moves this offseason to try to get their finances in order going into next year, but sending Drew Holiday to Portland and in return getting a young Anthony Simons that was a highly, a lottery pick out in his draft, and now on the last year of his deal. We'll see what happens there. I think both of these guys could be guys that get moved before the season starts to a different team, and who knows what Boston does. Kind of if they do decide to keep Simons, a 1-year rental that gives them an opportunity to see what they have him, see if they like it, and if not, they are done with him after 1 year. So I kind of like this move for both teams. And then earlier today, just about an hour ago, the New Orleans Pelicans made a trade with the Washington Wizards. CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second-round pick are going to the Washington Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick in the draft that starts tomorrow. So trades all over the place. We were told that this was going to be a wild and a big offseason, and so far it has been just that. It's been a lot of movement, a lot of moves, and a lot of big names getting moved early in this offseason.
Kelly Olynyk, we'll have to look at the number of teams. He's played for everybody, hasn't he?
He is getting around for sure. He has been on quite a few teams.
It must be Kelly. It's like Kelly Oupré's been for everybody.
Yeah,
Kelly
right.
Olynyk's been with everybody.
Those Kellys, they can't stay on the roster.
They get around. My top story is right there with you. There's a lot of war and rumor of war out there. The good book said we will have it. No, not in the Middle East, but in the NBA. Potential deals are flying around. Grizzlies, maybe not primary in a lot of those rumors so far, but I think certainly ancillary. And I think dealing Jaren Jackson will be primary, but it may not be to the rest of the league. I don't know how valued he is league-wide. He is here, and he's a good player, but we'll see if he's a difference maker in really moving the needle if he is dealt.
When Kelly Olynyk suits up for the Washington Wizards next year, that will be team number, let me recount, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Eight's our number, isn't it? Eight's our number for everybody.
That is exactly our number. So he has and will, I guess he's got to suit up in a game first, but he will have played for everybody once he rocks the Washington Wizards jersey.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, some news we got earlier this afternoon on the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers joining the program, talking about a lot of things. But in that conversation with Pat McAfee, he said, "I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a one-year deal. The Steelers didn't need to put any extra years on that or anything. This was really just about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had." The last dance for Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens. Obviously, this was the big question all offseason is what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Now we know he'll be a Pittsburgh Steeler. What can he do with this team? What will this team be able to do as a whole? Those will be questions that we can ask later in the show to Bo Marchant, who covers this team extremely well.
He's the conductor of The Last Dance.
He sure is the conductor of The Last Dance, but it definitely looks like this will be a little bit of a farewell tour for Aaron Rodgers this year.
My not top story last night at Busch Stadium, it was all Cardinals in an 8-2 trouncing of the first place Northsiders. Cardinals have to take 3 out of 4. I think really 4 out of 4, but at least 3 out of 4 to be taken seriously. Last night was the latest for the first meeting of the year between the Cardinals and the Cubs since 1997. The schedule is as dumb as Rob Manfred is. After tonight, 11 more games between St. Louis and Chicago. Should be playing a lot more games than 13 and should be meeting a long time before late June.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how long it's been since the start of the season to now, and this is the first time we've seen the Cubs. That just does not make any sense to me at all. Well, that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we'll talk some baseball.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states. I've got it on the line. Marty McNeil over at Gossip Volkswagen Germantown, and he's ready to put you in a new Volkswagen today. That's right, Randy. Guess what I've got available now? 2025 Jettas and 2025 Toyotas. 4.9% for 60 months. I've also got 25 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. 3.9% for 60 months. What else you got over there, Marty McNeil? On top of that, get 1,500 loyalty rebate on all 2025 GTIs, Jettas, Teos, Tiguans, Atlas, and Atlas Cross Sports. And you were telling me earlier you got $5,000 off 2024 Atlas Cross Sports CLR lines, but only 2 left, so you got hurt. So come see me today, Marty McNeil at Gossip Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at gossipvwg.com. And remember, your future is what you make of it.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called God Hopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa's PCUSA Church, downtown Memphis.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Good afternoon. Moving right now over here on Sam Cooper as we check it out live here up by Perkins and Highland. It's trying to get a little bit heavy south of Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. Radar in that southern portion of DeSoto County as you head into Tate. Just give you some little extra time. You're going to see more and more radar over the next week or so. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry serving Memphis now for over 40 years. No matter what the occasion is, you'll save a lot of money by shopping local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports with the Six. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Dallas. Here are your hosts, Let's Talk Sports with Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure studio. We're going to talk some baseball, but Brett, you told me you have this test for me. Now explain to me this test again so that if anybody missed it or I can be refreshed. What is this test again?
Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Jets and the heir to Johnson & Johnson fortune, is buying into Crystal Palace, one of the famed Premier League teams. And yesterday I was reading the story about him. You know, this is a former ambassador to Great Britain.
Yeah.
But he must first, and they all do, he has to pass the Premier League's owner and director test. And it's in parentheses, the OADT. Who knew?
Yes.
I mean, right up there with the LSAT or the MCAT to go to med school. And the OADT. But the real name of the test is, this screams Premier League, doesn't it? The Fit and Proper Persons Test.
Well, it does scream. It screams England, if nothing else. But yes,
it screams a bunch of phonies to me. A lot of their fans are the biggest hooligans in sport.
Oh yeah, no question.
I mean, next time we have a stadium burned down, let's remember the Fit and Proper Persons
That's
Test.
right. That's right. Yeah.
It sounds like we need that for our golf picks. And our
Well,
golf
we need something because it is not. We're not on good terms.
The name of that test is the great. Do either one of y'all even know who Groucho Marx was?
No chance. No
Famous comedian, vaudeville. I mean, long time ago. And he had the famous quote. He said, "I refuse to join any club that would have me as a member." Isn't that great?
That is great. Oh yeah. Now we need something for golf picks. I'm worried tomorrow might boil over into something
It could be unfit and very improper.
I have an idea. I was giving this to Landon, and hopefully
I'm all in.
Hopefully John isn't listening right now because I want to pitch this to you.
Get ready. He's going to dunk on our heads.
Well, okay.
He's going to be doing the Cooper Flag's mother.
This is why the plan's great.
So here it is. Brett, when we bring him on tomorrow, we never mention it. We don't congratulate him. We don't even
the guy in the dugout after a home run.
Yeah, we don't even mention
I'm all
it.
for it.
And then hopefully he's gonna
just get around to picks. John, you're first.
That would be great. That's the hope is that he doesn't mention it at all, and you get to okay, Landon, fourth. Good pick. All right, John, now your pick. Don't even say anything about it, and then just see if he snaps at some point.
I'll bet a month of lunches he gets it in over and under 15 seconds.
I believe it. That's what I'm expecting. But we'll see. If not,
he's
I
in
want to
first.
avoid it. It's crazy.
We've got to start now blocking him the rest of the way. We've got to tag up.
When I tell you that was the biggest surprise of the weekend is when, I'll be completely honest, I didn't watch any golf over the weekend.
I didn't watch much of it.
And so when you sent the leaderboard afterwards, and I saw, first off, I was looking for myself, and I saw myself now picking second. And I was like, who's in first now? And I saw John was in first. First off, how? Second off, how much money? It was a bad Sunday night. I'll tell you that.
Shock pick. Wins double.
Yeah, well, that's how it happens.
3.6 turns into 7.2, just like that.
It's crazy.
At one of the last designated tournament of the year. I tell you another great quote about almost in the Groucho Marx, and I say this because I love him. Mm-hmm. Will Rogers, the famous Oklahoman humorist, he would always say, "I'm not a member of an organized political party. I'm a Democrat." That's a great line.
That's a good line. That's a really good line.
And Will Rogers at the U.S. Capitol, and anybody that ever goes, Statuary Hall is stunning. Mm-hmm. But then removed from Statuary Hall, almost in a pretty narrow hallway, as you're going to the entrance to the U.S. House of Representatives, kind of like when you watch the State of the Union and the doorkeeper says, Mr. President, and they lead him in, that door, and or Mr. Speaker, I now present the President of the United States. That door they're going in, right before you get to that door is his statue, and he had one request of the U.S. Capitol archivist and the people in charge. He said, make sure, I'm not going to say the full quote. He said, I want to be to where I'm turned and facing them where I can keep an eye on those SOBs.
That's good.
And everybody that goes by kind of rubs his feet, like for good luck. And it's by a big bay window, and it is the best view looking out of the Capitol across the mall. And when they do the NFL draft there, I hope ESPN would go in and do a story about him and that view. It is the best view at the U.S. Capitol.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did not know that story, but that's hilarious. That's funny. That's really good.
All right, last night at St. Louis, it was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun, yeah.
Where were all the people?
Well, it's something we've been talking about, the
27,000. It wasn't a prayer. That was it. Box score says 27, and it was not 27.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't.
A lot of Cub fans.
And the Cubs have, that's been something that's jumped out to me, whether it's, because you hear a lot of people talking about attendance, around the country at different ballparks. But you look at Chicago and you look at Wrigley, every single game,
Stoked.
It is, everybody is there. And so it doesn't surprise me. They have a great fan base. They travel extremely well. That didn't surprise
always
me.
I think they travel better to Busch than Cardinal fans to Wrigley, but a lot of Cardinal fans make that trip.
Definitely. So I wasn't really surprised that there were a ton of Cubs fans there. I was surprised that there were not many people there, but that's kind of something we've talked about a lot. And how many times?
I know it was hot. I know it was Monday night.
Yeah.
10 years ago, hot on Monday night for Cardinals Cubs was secondary market bonanza.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of different factors to it. I mean, even just 10 years ago to today, a lot easier and a lot better, in terms of what you're looking at to, sit in your recliner and turn the television on and see the game instead of being out there. And
Cardinal fans are mad at Mo.
Yeah, well, that's another factor to it, and hopefully that gets figured out soon. I guess it will by the end of the year.
I think I'm right on this. Cardinals have won one playoff series since 2014.
Sounds about right.
But we're just in the playoffs 3 years ago with the last ride of Pujols, Molina, and Wainwright was on that team. Then his last year, and then last year a little better year.
Yeah.
Why so spoiled?
It's a great question. I don't know. I really have no idea.
And I think where the crowds are really hurting in St. Louis is St. Louis proper. The weekends are still, the 7-state pool of Cardinal fans rolling in there for that weekend, family, guy trip, whatever, father, son, father, daughter, whatever, mother, son, mother, daughter, whatever it is.
Sure.
But these, particularly Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday crowds, have been more than lean. They've been exponentially poor.
No, they have. They absolutely have. And I mean, there's just I don't know what you do about it, because right now this team I don't think is going to be making a playoff run this year. Certainly not. And
but who thought they'd be at this point?
Nobody. But I think that's part of the problem.
Well,
I think
one somebody.
Well,
preseason
you
picks.
always are
but
very
he's
high
an
on the Cardinals.
insufferable homer.
But I think we kind of talked about that is when the team is so bad and you have the expectations that they're going to be so bad. And how many times in the last couple of weeks have we come in and said, man, May sure feels like a long time ago. Things were great in May.
Now we're kind of having a May revival.
Maybe. I think we were talking about it. Maybe not a lot of good crowds, and I think there's a lot of people that part of the reason, I think a very small part of is, hey, this team's not very good. Why am I going to go out there and watch them get beat by the Cubs? And
here's another thing, Brian. It's too expensive.
It is very expensive, yeah.
And when you get there, it's outrageous. Oh. You're going to want something to eat and drink, and it is outrageous. It is for something to eat and drink. I'm not talking about, having the 7 beer day with your buddies. I can't imagine what that would cost. Mm-hmm. I really can't. I mean, you could go and spend, if you had that, you could go and spend $200. Never mind the ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Never mind parking.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lineup that we don't know a lot of them, we don't care about a lot of them, and we feel like the season's going to bottom out at some point. But right now, 43-36, 2 games shy of the halfway mark. Let's say they split the next two and they get to the halfway mark at 44 up and 37 down. Mm-hmm. Nobody had that preseason.
No, absolutely.
Remember preseason, I remarked about, I can remember lean Cardinal years. I can remember the 70s. I can remember a year or two with Tony La Russa, even during Ollie Marmol, but never the unanimous prediction from everybody around the sport of last place, dead last.
Yeah, we were talking about those Athlon magazines and different things with the preseason predictions, having them dead last in the division. And we were saying this is just, I can't even believe that the idea of them being last in the division. And, they're probably much better than that right now. We'll see if that continues, obviously long season. But so far, they've been much better than dead last.
I mean, not even in the 70s with a second baseman named Mike Tyson. No, not that Mike Tyson, where they picked to come in last. And I don't mean to pick at, but it's for real. A lot of the reasons never picked last because you had the Cubs.
No, that's true. That's true. And now things are kind of flipped. Cubs sitting pretty in first right now.
4 2-run home runs last night. And good starting pitching, and Ryan Helsley, a free agent at the end of this year, and the Cardinals can really make trade deadline difficult in the last hours, literally hours of John Mozeliak running the team before Chaim Bloom takes over. I don't think it should be difficult, though. At deadline, they have to deal Helsley, no matter if they're sitting in first place.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, unless you just think that you're on the right track and you can lock him, you can get some sort of contract extension for him or something, you got to trade him. I mean, there's no way you let Ryan Helsley walk at the end of the season to free agency. I mean, that would just
be
with
no return.
Yeah, I mean, that would just be the worst decision.
Same for Arenado.
Awful. Oh yeah, no, I think you go ahead and move Arenado at the deadline as well. So but hey, that's the thing. I told you.
Would you listen for Mason Wynn if somebody called and said, "Hey, here's 2 legitimate starters and our top 2 AAA prospects"? Would you listen?
I mean, I think you listen. I mean, I think it's got to be a really good offer for you to make that decision. But I think you at least pick up the phone and hear what they have to say about it, because I think you're in a spot right now where I don't even know if you know where you're going, what direction you're going.
Where do you want to go?
Well, I mean, don't you always want to go up? I mean, I think.
But all right, but realistically, they're not winning at all.
No, certainly not.
How deep right now? They're really not. They're not. They're tied for the last wild card. They wouldn't even win the tiebreaker. No, we don't play baseball off anymore. We go to the scorecard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, that's the decision they've got to make, right? Of do we think we have enough pieces here where we can start building, and in 3 or 4 years we're in conversation of making playoff runs, or do we need to start tearing this down and kind of rebuilding? I probably lean on the side of maybe start rebuilding, because I don't know how many prospects that are coming up in the next couple of years that are really going to be able to help you. So I'd probably be maybe tear it down a little bit.
Because of this goofball scheduling, the Cubs only come to St. Louis 2 times. That's all. St. Louis goes to the north side as well. The next time the Cubs return to St. Louis is Friday, August 8th, Saturday, August 9th, and Sunday, August 10th. That's the weekend of the FedEx St. Jude Championship here in Memphis. If the Cardinals stayed kind of where they are now, I don't know that crowds are any better for that weekend series in August than they are now.
Yeah, they might not be. They really might not.
Because then that's back to school and the football monster and
hunting. I don't know what season it is. Some sort of season.
I don't think dove season's ever knocked anybody out of going to a Cardinal game.
I don't know. Maybe not. But
that many people dove hunt? That's a great question.
It's a great quote. It's a great question.
Just 10,000 people go dove hunt.
It is beautiful. But yeah, you're right. I mean, look, because then you're talking about, like you said, today. They're tied for the last wild card spot. You're probably talking about being out of the wild card spot at that point. And, I mean, I think there are going to be a lot of people going, well, we're just playing out the strings here and, why bother go? So that would be bad. If we're talking about these type of crowds for a weekend series against the Cubs, I don't care when it is, that'd not be fun to talk about.
And I was doing it, too, last night. I think everybody is trying to force it a little bit. Busch Stadium feels like it used to. No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
No.
It was a good win, but,
sure.
Maybe a seminal moment in this Cardinal. I
don't think so. I don't want to value a Monday night win that much. But it was. A good
said
win.
3 out of 4 really probably need to sweep. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say 3 out of 4, and you feel really good. Obviously, sweep, you feel great. It's going to be really difficult. I think tonight's going to be hard against the Cubs. They got Tyon on the mound, who's been pretty good. You're going with McGreevy for the Cardinals, so tonight's going to be tough.
He's kind of the 6th starter.
Yeah, he really is, and I like watching him throw. I do too. He's a fun young prospect, but no, I mean, I think you feel really good if you can win this series, get 3 out of 4. I think you feel great going into the weekend.
And, again, the schedule. Last time I take a swipe at the schedule today, but so that momentum of playing the Cubs at Busch Stadium, leave there, go on the road, okay? Head to Cleveland.
All right.
Nothing says that last weekend in June series between Cleveland and the Cardinals, right?
Oh, man, it just screams. It screams summer baseball.
Then the following weekend, 4th of July, at Wrigley.
That'll be good. That sounds more right. That sounds more like what it should be. What it should be. But let's go ahead and get to another break. And when we return, we got to talk a little bit about the NBA draft. We're getting ready to start counting down the hours until the draft. What are we, about 26 hours away? A little less than 26 hours away or a little more than 26 hours away from the NBA draft tomorrow night. A lot of rumors out there of what could happen in the first round. Grizzlies, as of right now, have the number 16th pick. We'll talk the NBA draft next on Sportstime.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
That's the whole point. It's a secret.
Why does Central Barbecue feel like they have to keep the ingredients of their dry rub a secret?
Because it's just that good. If people could find out the ingredients in Central Barbecue's dry rub, they could reverse engineer it and make their own Central Barbecue dry rub.
Reverse engineer? These aren't state secrets.
They may as well be. This is serious business. Central Barbecue already tells everybody that they slow smoke their meat for a full 24 hours over hickory and pecan, and that there's never any sauce in the pit. They're giving away too much information as it is.
They're not giving away secrets. It's advertising. They're boasting about those things.
You are so naive.
Cambodia Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. The sales ending soon. See the details at CambodiaOrangeDays.com. It's summer in the Mid-South and deals have never been hotter at Gaza Mitsubishi on the Pike. You'll find 0% for 36 months available on new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Get 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. Car and Driver rated #1 best non-hybrid electric fuel economy with 39 combined MPG. Buy Mirage, only $17,675. 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid, $299 a month with combined range of 420 miles. Beats Mazda CX-90's warranty and mileage. And 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $28,480 or $349 a month, plus peace of mind with 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
MSRP 17175, PHEV SC 00130, MSRP 42615, Sport SU 006141, MSRP 28980, includes all rebates and incentives with 5691 down, excludes tax on a license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. Next 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone, call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill 901-406-1101. Bill and I buy houses.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and the staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342.
There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Sports Time. Sports with Excelsior. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Cars. Here are your hosts, let's talk sports with Brian Davis.
Well, the NBA draft is tomorrow night. Well, part of the NBA draft is tomorrow night. First round tomorrow, second round Thursday. Still not a fan of it, but whatever. This year's different, though. Last year, it was first round at night. Second round was like middle of the afternoon the next day. This year, we're going full programming, prime time, both rounds at night. So we'll see how it plays out this year. But a lot of news, a lot of rumors out there about guys at the top of the draft who could come off the board in the top 10. But we know the Grizzlies sitting right there at number 16, and a lot of different options out there. They could trade the pick. They could also just make a selection. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. But definitely a lot of people here starting to look at some of those guys in that area and trying to decide what the Grizzlies might do tomorrow night.
I just can't imagine that player selected at 16, even if the Grizzlies make it, will be introduced on opening night, out to midcourt.
Yeah,
as a member of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we've seen this front office already make one move this offseason, but we've seen them around the draft. It feels like every year make some sort of move, whether it's moving second round picks, whether it's moving first round picks. We've seen them do everything, and so I think everything is in play right now for the Grizzlies. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. I've seen a lot of mocks the last 2 days having Cedric Coward, the wing from Washington State, as the projected pick for the Grizzlies. I would be completely fine with the Grizzlies taking Cedric Coward. I think there's some good names around 16, but I just think the Grizzlies are in a spot where they can really do just about anything with this pick, and I would not be surprised. I think, in my mind, the least surprised I would be is if they trade the pick and don't make a selection at 16.
Brian, I didn't watch Cedric Coward a play last year. At what point was he shut down in the year?
After 7 games. So he only played 7 games last year, either 6 or 7, but did not play a lot of games last year at all.
Did you watch him play?
I did not. No, I did not watch any games of his at Washington State. I watched a couple of Eastern Washington games the year before when he was there, but never was watching him being like, this is going to be a first round pick.
But there are a lot of those biographies now.
Oh, yeah.
Not many college games, and last year, what didn't matter that much to them.
That's right, yeah. And,
the Rutgers players.
That's right. Well, yeah, that's very true. I mean, 2 stars and just didn't have anything else around them, and who knows what happens with Ace Bailey tomorrow night. But it sounds like, I think ESPN had the mock draft either yesterday or the day before that had Cedric Coward to Memphis and said that he is still not able to. He's not active right now. He is still dealing with that injury. When he worked out with the Grizzlies, it was 1-on-0 because he has not worked up to 3-on-3 or any type of play like that.
I can't imagine that would go over well with the fans.
No, I think he'd be maybe not an overly popular pick, but based on what I've gauged, he's not it's not somebody that people would hate by any means. That's at least what I'm getting.
Do you have a go-to mock draft site?
I don't really have a go-to. I just kind of look at several of them. I'll obviously look at the big ones like ESPN and CBS and those, but I don't have like one that I go to for all of
I
mine.
can't believe we hadn't mentioned another mock we have out today.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Bracketology.
Oh, man, how about that? Who
Joe
who would've
Brackets.
thought? June 24th, bracketology.
It's his time of year, isn't it?
Man, it really is. He loves brackets in the summer. I don't, but he does.
14 SEC teams.
That's insane.
No way.
No. I mean,
I think I'd have said that last year and been wrong.
Sure, but I mean, I guess.
But no way 2 years in a row.
No, I mean, we talked so much about how they threaded the needle and just everything that had to go right went
Can't
right.
do it again.
No, there's just no way. But
I mean, down the stretch, it was not, but it felt like almost a choreographed completion to the year. Even in Nashville, I need these to win 1 or 2 and this one to win 1 and lose. It all did.
Oh, yeah.
Everything for it to fall that way fell that way.
Oh, yeah, it was the perfect storm. And so I just don't think that's going to happen. But that's kind of the easy thing to do in June, on your June 24th bracketology is the SEC was phenomenal last year. They're going to be great again this year. Here's 14 teams in the bracket. So
yeah, only one from the AAC, and we know who it is.
Yeah, it's Memphis, I believe, at the 11 seed and playing Wisconsin in the first round game.
Don't we know how that would end?
Yeah, no, it would not be good. It would not be good at all.
Be almost hypnotic.
Oh yeah. But hey,
that's, Wisconsin really got up and down the court last year.
Sure
Their
did.
pace was great.
Oh yeah, no, they looked way different last year than what we've seen in previous years. But 11 is where Memphis was projected last June in a lot of bracketologies out there. So we know we saw it last year how much those bracketologies can change from the middle of summer until Selection Sunday in March. But let's go ahead and wrap up this first hour. And when we return, we're going to talk a lot of college football. Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us. We'll talk college football. A lot of news coming out. So we're getting closer and closer to the season. That's next on Sports Time.
So you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in-bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHED.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to the retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. Also stores in Cleveland, Mississippi and Little Rock. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, and family projects call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit more volume trying to get south of Memphis on the interstate here on 55 down through South Haven. Still holding up right now on 240. A couple of disabled vehicles out here around Mount Moriah a little bit earlier as it gets a little bit heavier on 240 getting on to 385 Billmores Parkway. All that traffic this time of the afternoon headed out towards Collierville. If you got dandelions, crabgrass, lawn solutions here, Memphis says, hey, we'll get rid of it for you. Call Lawn Solutions right now at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Dave Willotion, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC, we talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Brian and Brent.
Bruce Marshall, Brent Beard. I think it's a Friday.
That's okay.
I mean, good Lord. I'm trying to wish my days away. Good Lord. Brent Beard joins us now.
He does.
From First Coast News in Jacksonville. It's a Tuesday, if you can't tell. I don't really know what that means, but it is one of those days. Brent Beard joins us now to talk college football. He comes to us from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. A lot to get to this afternoon. Brent, I want to start with something Brett brought to my attention earlier today. I'd seen it floating around social media, but I had not really taken a close look at it. The new EA Sports college football video game put out there, top 25 toughest places to play in college football earlier this afternoon. The top 5 is number 5, Bryant-Denny Stadium, obviously Alabama. 4, Georgia's Sanford Stadium. 3, Ohio State's Ohio Stadium. 2, Penn State's Beaver Stadium, and number 1, LSU's Tiger Stadium. Last year they had Kyle Field number 1. Now they have Kyle Field down at number 11. Did EA Sports get the top 5 toughest places to play correct?
Well, I'll say this. When they're playing well at night and the Swamp is... look, now that is a open-air press box. But I remember leaving there in several games. I'm curious, Brett, if you've ever gone through this there. My ears rang, and I frankly could not hear basically until I got home.
You're still pulsating. You're still vibrating.
Yes.
And you're right about that open air last year. Now this was a 11 Central, 12 Eastern game for Ole Miss in Florida, and I was on the field most of that day. For Brian, you'll appreciate this. For this reason, almost froze to death pregame doing it in the press box, and I wanted to go outside. It was cold. It was later November, and I wanted to go outside, and I was on the sideline for the entire game, and you could feel from the opening kickoff that it was going down to the last seconds. You knew nobody was going to get clearance from the other one, and the emotion of getting beat also, but just flat spent. And you're right, Brent, when the Swamp is right. And isn't it something, I've mentioned this a couple of times lately, they call it the Swamp, but they play the theme from Jaws. So they got fresh water and salt water coming at you.
Hey, get all in there.
They cover. They try to cover.
And it is intimidating.
All the now, and you heard a little bit of Tom Petty when you were there too, correct?
Oh, between third and fourth quarter, I sent it to you, didn't I, Brian?
You did. You absolutely did.
It's as good of, I guess you can have new traditions as we have in the SEC, and I loved him so much. And Brent, when I first started listening to kind of long form album rock station, he was here in Memphis, the great Rock 103. Every jock there, before they'd play a Tom Petty song, they would always introduce it as next is Gainesville rocker Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And he was very proud Gainesville native.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's an interesting list. No question that most of your stadiums there are from the SEC. And look, when Brett used a good term a minute ago, when they're right. I tell you, when they're right, I've been in South Carolina. That is now. Imagine
I ain't never caught it right.
No. But
I was there last year.
Yeah. And I've been there before to where you
it's
could
fun.
hear.
It's festive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
I was there for Spurrier's first game back against Mike Shula, and Mike Shula beat the dog out of him.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I give them credit. What their initial energy oftentimes is not what they have late in the game.
Right, the sustainability.
Yeah, it is.
That's right.
It is. But and there were times last year where they were. So, but this conference is just amazing. Frankly, and those are some of those lists we like to go over this time of year.
Oh yeah,
don't we?
It's list season.
Clemson on the list, and Brent, every time I watch a game there, especially kind of the drone shot or the blimp shot, that setting, those fans, that looks like the SEC.
Oh yeah, I think everybody has said over the years that the SEC is where they belong, and I certainly don't deny that whatsoever. Now, I haven't been. I would be curious to do it. But I hear Oregon is quite a place to be.
Sure sounds like it. And now it's on about a 35-year run. I mean they got it going and they've sustained it. Tiger Stadium at LSU #1. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, right, wrong, indifferent, it's still the best.
Yeah. Well, and it probably always will be. So I agree with that. But look, There's nothing like an SEC game in a typical SEC venue in a barn burner that's going down deep into the fourth quarter. That I can tell you that's as good as it gets. But Brett, would you like to been now, Brian? I know you probably heard this, but you remember when LSU beat Auburn 7-6, and they had the game where it registered in the seismograph,
earthquake
in the science buildings. Things like that are really special.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those buildings around it. At LSU, at least they were just rocking them with the seismograph. At Auburn, one time they torched one. Remember that?
I remember that was one of the most
game,
that was one of the most bizarre things.
Game played on.
Brian, if you haven't seen this, you need to Google it.
I need to.
And help me, Brent. There was an older building at Auburn that was not that far from the stadium, and the thing was just basically engulfed in flames.
Towering inferno.
And no one skipped a beat. The game went on. I mean, they realized that everybody was safe. It wasn't going to make any difference. So,
I think that was in '94. And Brian, my line on Monday, and I've already kind of used it a little bit today. I said, all those soccer places in Europe, they burn their stadium. We just burn buildings around our stadium.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. The stadium means too much to us.
Yeah, the good joke told to me by an Auburn administrator at the time is somebody said it was a real old building and hadn't been a lot of use in it, and that somebody said anybody that puts it out gets fired. We want it to burn.
Well, and the old. And I'm being facetious here, but the old joke of the building in Auburn that burned both the coloring books up. So.
Right. Oh, the Alabama fans had a ball with it.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
They did. I said earlier, Neyland Stadium at Knoxville listed at 12. Come on. It's so much better than that. I haven't been to Oklahoma. We look forward to going this year.
Yeah.
So I really can't comment. I've been to Texas once with Ole Miss, and at least 3 other times, once or maybe twice for Arkansas and Texas, and I even went to a Texas Notre Dame game in Austin. It is very laid back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and look, there were some older venues like Legion Field when it was in its heyday that it could do some rocking too. Yes, that fascinating list.
Yeah, no, really good list. What did you make of this quote from Thomas Castellanos the other day, talking about his first game for Florida State after transferring from Boston College, kind of targeting Alabama, calling Alabama out? This is the quote he said, quote, "I'm excited, man. People, I don't know if they know, but you go back and watch every first game that I played in. We always start fast. I dreamed of moments like this. I dreamed of playing against Alabama. They don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me." Thomas Castellanos.
I'm terrified, Brent.
In his first game at Florida State.
I thought that was one of the dumbest quotes I believe I've ever heard from a player. I mean, look, when you the reality of it is when you can't start at Boston College and you've been benched. Yes. Gee, I'm real surprised he and Bill O'Brien didn't get along real well.
I'm almost as shocked as I am scared.
No question. Now he went on in that quote, and I'm going to leave the obscenities out here, but his quote what continued was, "I feel like I tore up the ACC by my blank self for the last 2 years, and now I'm with the squad. I hope people don't think the Florida State's going to be the same team it was last year, because we have weapons. People can't just sit back in zone coverage and watch me." So, man,
I'm more terrified.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the word, you get more and more terrified.
Brent, some of the coaches you and I have covered over the years, can you imagine a player coming out and saying that and what their reaction would have been behind closed doors?
It wouldn't be met very well. And for Florida State, I do think they'll be better than they were last year. They almost have to be. I still love Mike Norvell.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a big year. Heartbreaking loss on opening day. Okay, win speaks for itself.
Yes.
But get hammered.
Yeah.
Well, look, the problem was they had games, guys, last year to where, the saddest thing you can say about a team is they weren't competitive. And they had games last year where they were not. They were. They couldn't block. They couldn't tackle. So that they. It's going to be really crucial for them to be able to pick it up. But the reality is, after the Alabama game, they've got East Texas A&M, Kent State, at Virginia. Then they've got Miami, Pitt, Stanford, Wake Forest. Look, those are some winnable games in there for them. But to Brett's point, I do think they'll be better. But Mr. Castellanos will that will be that's already been given a lot of bulletin board material. I'm not a great bulletin board guy because I don't think it really helps you except maybe a play or two. But the thing about it is you make statements like that, you've got to go on the road, brother, and that won't be treated real well.
I don't know that I'm more shocked by those names you rattled off for FSU, shocked that they're playing East Texas A&M are going to Stanford.
Yeah, I know. yeah.
Conference game.
Obviously that being a road game in the conference, I get that. But
you fly over every team in the country to get there.
Every conference in the country.
Yeah, and listen, in November, they go to Clemson, and they go to Florida, and they've also got, and they go to an NC State. But look, NC State for them has been an absolute house of horrors.
It has been. A good infographic from the great crew down in Birmingham at the next round. They had this infographic out on Twitter. It had home field, SEC home field winning percentage over the past 5 years. Georgia, 100%, 28-0. Alabama, 32-1, 97%. OU, a lot of that wasn't in the SEC, but still 83.9%, 26-5. And Brian, and all this talk we've had about these home fields, I hadn't one time piped up about Ole Miss, have I?
No, you have not.
I hadn't mentioned them until now.
You have not.
But Lane Kiffin badly wanted to establish this. This is what makes it tough. Not the brick and mortar and not the walk of whatever or the tailgating scene or whatever. Because if the tailgating scene was a factor in it, Ole Miss would be up there in all these lists. But that doesn't have anything to do with blocking and tackling. That's fun. It has a lot to do with fun and ambiance and game day in general. But under the last 5 years, that's all under Lane, 27-6, 81.8. That's fourth in the SEC.
Sure. Yeah. That's stellar there. Absolutely. Kudos, and that needs to be mentioned a lot more often than it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of down there in Florida, I saw this, I guess, last week maybe or earlier this week. Wisconsin files lawsuit against Miami alleging tampering that led to Xavier Lucas's transfer. What are you hearing about this? What do you make of Wisconsin trying to take Miami to court?
Very unusual, frankly. Look, this is when I have heard is and I get this. I'm telling you, Bryant, this would have never happened years ago.
Nope.
Because these commissioners would have, that would have been. You talk about behind closed doors. These commissioners don't like schools suing each other, and I don't know how this is going to come out. Well, I mean, we're just in a different day now than where we were. But this is not looked on well at all. I mean, and people can't blame all this on the NCAA either, frankly. But my stars, it's a. I mean, this. I'm not going to say it left me speechless, but it was. I'm just sad to see this. I hope this comes to nothing, and they find a better way to deal with this than suing each other.
LSU wins it all in baseball Sunday afternoon. Florida wins it all in basketball back at the NCAA tournament on the first Monday in April. Football does not even have a team play for it all. We know what this league is, Brent. If it's a third straight year of not an SEC national champion, how's that going over?
Well, not as well as if they would be winning, but I mean, I still think there's. I was listening to my brother's show today, and Andrea Adelson was on there, and I give her credit for this from ESPN. She made an interesting point. She said, "Now, I do realize that Michigan and Ohio State have won the last two, but still." And she was talking about the playoffs, Big Ten wanting 4, and she said, I know with their recent success, I still think the SEC is the best league, but to your point, you've got to, you've got to be in the championship, and you've got to win and start that over again in order to go. And I mean, who have you got this year? You've got Texas, you've got Georgia. You've got Alabama, possibly. You've got Ole Miss. I mean, the teams to be in the playoffs. I think Tennessee probably takes a step back at this point. So, but
LSU.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, the ring's the thing, and that's what people remember.
It is, and I will give all due credit to the Big Ten. They have no doubt they've won the last two. And they've won it with their bell cow, so that's fine. And I like and respect both programs. Went to that game a few years ago. Adore everything about it. But the SEC, they've won it. The previous 15 with about 5 different teams.
Sure, absolutely. Well, that's similar. You remember, Brett, what happened in college baseball? The SEC's won 6 in a row. And LSU's only team that's repeated.
Mm-hmm.
So I
and
agree
the best
with that.
team, Arkansas, hadn't won it yet.
Yeah,
and they have had the best program since 2018 in college baseball.
Yeah, and I listen to this day. If you can explain to me how Arkansas lost that last game to LSU, please do, because I don't understand.
any one thing out of 5 crazy occurrences, you change. Arkansas wins. Now, I don't know what they do the next night against LSU, and I don't know what they do against Coastal Carolina, but we know that baseball is very much, maybe the biggest momentum sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought they were going to get on a roll and finally win their first, but they didn't.
Well, but for our national media friends, it's good that they saw that the SEC won in baseball, particularly when they had a lot of fun. And I know the SEC struggled. When you put 13 in, you're not going to get them all to go forward. But and also in basketball with Florida, so to me that may be the most impressive thing. I mean, look, we know football will catch up at some point, and football is going to be okay. But to win in baseball and basketball is a real plus for the league.
But a third year of not winning it will feel like forever because, and I don't blame them. When you get a chance to spike the ball, you have to. Danny Cannell will dunk all over us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he dunks on us when we win.
Oh, yeah. He pretty well does that every day, doesn't he, Brett?
Yeah, I'm past my time of falling or not falling back in love of liking him. How courageously he did fight during COVID for the sport. Yeah. That's expired. I'm back to where I was feeling about him before that.
Yeah. Well, and look, I think I'm an SEC guy. I admit that. All my stuff is done basically with the league. I mean, we do national stuff in ACC, obviously. But at some point, you can promote whatever league that you deal with and that you write about, broadcast about. But at some point, you have to realize there's a balance there. And a lot of these guys don't understand that, and that they have become annoying by their style.
Mm-hmm. Brent, I was just kind of scrolling through CBS Sports yesterday and was looking at these college football stories, and our friend David Cobb, who covers college football over at CBS Sports, he wrote a story grading first-year college football coaches going into their first season, and the picture, the headline picture, was of our guy Bill Belichick, and it made me start thinking, it's been a while since we talked about Bill Belichick. Things have gotten quiet at North Carolina, which for him is the best thing that could have possibly happened after what felt like every single week we had you on. We were asking about Bill Belichick and if he would even make it to the first season.
I would look, they had some adults entered the room, and they basically got that straightened out before that brush fire became a inferno.
Yeah.
And that was a very good move. They had to move on, and they had to deal with that because I mean, look, the way let me put it this way: the way the HR department looked at that is you've got a non-school employee who are doing things that school employees are used to doing, and that can't be tolerated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was someone had to get in there and get things going in the right direction, and it looks like they definitely have done that.
For both of y'all, if your 25-year career at a university had to be in one of two departments, which one would you rather it be, HR or compliance?
Oh, jeez. Neither. Is that an option?
No kidding.
Can I be the janitor or something? I don't know.
Well, how about the janitor or the ones that?
I swear I'd rather. First of all, I'm a neat freak. I don't mind it at all. But I'd rather be on the turf and grounds.
I'll do
team.
anything. Literally, name any position other than those two.
And I'm allergic to everything there and don't like it.
Well, and that's where I'm going with this is. I'd rather be the janitor that cleans the trophies and the trophy case.
Yes. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly.
The poor compliance people. I mean, they're the in-house snitches, and the HR are. I mean, they're just Dr. No. Yeah. Everything's no.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's true.
whatever the furthest away from those two are. Give me that job. I'll take that job and be completely
precisely.
fine. Yes.
Well, and look, I know we're going short on time, guys, but we do need to remember, and I know you guys have talked about it, we're coming up upon some really important deadlines. Mm-hmm. And one of the first ones coming up is July 1st, when, as we've heard people say, when the money drops. And hopefully we're going to get a lot closer to some of these major decisions, such as how many portals are we going to have, when is signing day going to be, are we going to have some OTAs, which is intriguing, in May and June, and obviously what's the SEC going to do with 8 or 9. So, guys, I got Phil Steele today, and I'm glad the magazines are out. But there's some heavy duty stuff that's got to be decided sooner than later, right?
Did you upgrade your prescription and your glasses for the Phil Steele magazine?
I have a magnifying glass here.
You have to.
That is right. Yes. Yeah. You really don't. Now listen. As far as work ethic and interviewing coaches and for what they do. I mean,
he puts it in.
I appreciate that because it's a 6-month throttle down and let's go when they start that thing. And I hope those folks take some time off when the magazine comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Brett, you remember we used to, for being members of the Football Writers Association, we would get one complimentary.
I remember that well. Oh, yes, absolutely.
What happened to that?
Hadn't seen one in a long time. Have you?
Wasn't very complimentary, was it?
No.
The only compliment we got now is you look nice today. Well, thank you.
That's too bad.
I'll take it.
Sure, take whatever you can get, Brett. I guess that's the way to look at things.
Thank you, Brent.
Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us.
Take care, guys.
You got it. Talk next week. Brent Beard with us every week talking college football. You can head to All-Star Chevrolet and get your new and affordable 26 All-Star Chevy Equinox right there in Olive Branch off Kraft Goodman Road off Highway 78. First exit as you head into Mississippi, you're there. Take Kraft Goodman and you're there with Drew DePriest and his great team at All-Star. Financing down to 6.6 for 72 months. New 25 Silverados with $6,500 cash back and financing down to 2.9 for 36 months. Go big and get a new Silverado 2500 HD with financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months and not a payment for 90 days. 3.9 for 60, no payment for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it at All-Star. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, recent grad, military, educator, an instant extra $500 bonus back. All the certified and pre-owned you can imagine, like a Corvette Stingray, Silverados, Tahoes, more than you can find in any one place in our area. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star in Olive Branch and get the most money back for it today, whether you bought it there or not. Vacation, road trips, and all your summer fun should begin right there at Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet with our friends. Together, let's drive something from All-Star. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Brett, I just saw this text message we got earlier in the show, and this is something I did not know, and I don't know what the answer is to it. But a texter texted and said, any idea why they have been playing Memphis basketball all day on ESPNU? So I have not flipped over to ESPNU today at all. So I just went on my app where I can see the schedule on ESPNU. Right now on ESPNU, Memphis versus UAB basketball is playing, and right after this, USF at Memphis basketball playing. I have no idea why ESPNU is playing Memphis basketball.
It was news to now. I'm there now, too.
News to me, but I'll take it.
65-60 Blazers,
right.
11-16 to play.
A lot of game left. A lot of game left.
Well, I think we know how it ends, though, don't we?
We do know how it ends, but a lot of game left. I like to be on the edge of my seat, Brett, even with reruns. I like to not know what happened. But, yeah, I have no idea why we're showing Tiger basketball on ESPNU, but I will take it any chance I get. So I guess if you want to see some Tiger basketball, if you're getting the itch for Tiger basketball, ESPNU is the place to be to see that. But we'll see how this game plays out, I guess, on ESPNU.
Silly me, I was getting ready to have it on PTI.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, why have it on PTI if you can have it on Tiger basketball? But we got to get to a break. When we come back, we're going to do a fun little exercise. We saw OKC win the NBA Finals over the weekend. Now, 12 teams in the NBA have not won it all. We're going to rank all 12 of those teams and who has the best chance to win it next year. That will be number one. We'll get to that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. Next time, 406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. It's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. Bill at I Buy Houses.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey, and I'm Josh, and we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it. I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce. Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
I've got it on the line. Marty McNeil over in Cosby Volkswagen Germantown, and he's ready to put you in a new Volkswagen today.
That's right, Randy. Guess what I've got available now? 2025 Jettas and 2025 Toyotas. 4.9% for 60 months. I've also got 25 Atlas and Atlas Crossports. 3.9% for 60 months.
What else you got over there, Marty McNeil?
On top of that, get 1,500 loyalty rebate on all 2025 GTIs, Jettas, Teos, Tiguan, Atlas, and Atlas Crossports.
And you were telling me earlier you've got $5,000 off 2024 Atlas Crossport SCR lines, but only 2 left, so you got hurt.
So come see me today, Marty McNeil at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make of it.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant objective feedback, hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 for you, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting days with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in the 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or in our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from the Mediterranean diet to steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair is still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's building even more so, trying to get out of Midtown. Coming south on 240 here at South Parkway. Watching an increase on 240 east from Mill Branch out to 385 Billmore. Parkway finally starting to get a little bit busier now as you head on out towards the Collierville area. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. So stop by and see them and shop local and save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they won the NBA Finals Sunday night, getting that first championship in OKC. It takes them off a list of now only 12 teams that have not won the NBA Finals, have not won it all. So we've put together a list. All three of us have our own list of those 12 teams, ranking them in order of least likely to win it next year to most likely out of those 12 teams to win it next year. A fun exercise. Who wants to start, I guess?
It would have been easy to have Oklahoma City number one if Indiana had won this series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That would have been the group lock of all time. And, again, the proviso. We know Sacramento won it all as the Rochester Royals.
Yep.
We know that. But we're talking about in these towns and with these logos. I know the Wizards won it as the Bullets. Also know that, so they're on the win side. And we know the Atlanta Hawks won it in St. Louis as the St. Louis Hawks. So, Bryant, you first.
All right, I'll fire away. I'll start from number 12 and work my way up to number 1. Number 12, I have the Utah Jazz. Right now, they just look like they are a mess of a franchise. A lot of young players. I don't think they're anywhere near competing for an NBA final. Number 11, I have Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets. I think, these three at the bottom, I think kind of go in any order you want them to go in. Number 10, I have Brooklyn. I think they just have a little more older guys, a little more scoring. I like their coach more. So I put them just a little bit ahead of Charlotte. Number 9, I have New Orleans, the Pelicans. Where are they at right now? I guess it all depends on, the availability of your best player and your former number 1 overall pick, Zion
And in all
Williamson.
honesty, none of these teams have a prayer.
No, definitely not. So that's put them whatever you want to put them in at the bottom. Number 8, I have Sacramento. Just feels like they're far from competing, and it looks like they might be a team that can make some moves and get rid of some guys this offseason. Number 7, I have Atlanta. The Hawks, I think, made some improvements last year, kind of moving in the right direction, but I still think a long way for them. Number 6, I have Phoenix. After trading Kevin Durant, what way do they go from here? A lot of people think that they're not going to be a very good team next year. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do have them number 6. Number 5, I have the Memphis Grizzlies, the team in our backyard. I have them pretty much right there, nearly in the middle at number 5. Number 4, I have the team that was just there in this year's NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers. Number 3, I have Desmond.
Have you named a team yet you really think could win it next year?
No, I have not. Okay. We're about to get into that category, starting with the Orlando Magic and Desmond Bane's new team. They're a team that I think if they can make their way through the Eastern Conference, they could be a team that can make a run in the playoffs and get to the finals. Number 2, I have the LA Clippers, a team that, maybe the ball bounces the right way and they could find themselves.
How long have the Clippers been next year's team?
Oh, man, it's been
a lot of my life.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Next year's never happened.
No, and it doesn't feel like it's really very close. I know I have them second on here, but I don't think they're very close. The team that I think has the best opportunity and is the closest is the team that has been to back-to-back Western Conference Finals, a team that has a young superstar that you got to imagine is only going to get better. I have the Minnesota Timberwolves as my number 1 team out of the 12.
Brian, that's a great list. We don't have a lot of unanimity. We do not agree a lot.
Good.
So, Landon, fire away. You go 1 through 12. Bryant went 12 to 1. You go 1 to 12.
Well, really, I don't have to do much because I only had 2 differences in my list in compared to Bryant's.
They are.
Wow.
So my differences are I have the Pacers at number 3, and I have the Magic at 4, and I have the Hawks at 6, and the Suns at 7.
How about that? Wow.
Everything else I have placed.
I promise I didn't
exactly
cheat
the
off
same.
you. That's crazy.
That's what it felt like when you're going from 12 to 8. I was like,
All right,
okay.
Here's mine. I'll start 12.
Okay.
Utah, 11 New Orleans. Like you said, you could put them in a lot of different places. I have Phoenix 10, disagreeing with you somewhat, Bryant. If you don't have anywhere, that wasn't close to anything this year. If you don't do it with that cast, how are you going to do it next year with whatever cast is? Number 9 for me, Charlotte. 8, Brooklyn. Again, you could put them a lot of different places. 7, Sacramento. I was really torn with these two. So you had Memphis as 5 as well, right, Landon. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
Oh heck, I'm gonna switch it for group lock. I had Memphis 6 and Atlanta 5. I'm gonna flip flop those.
Right.
I in Memphis, they're better than Atlanta, aren't they?
I think so.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I think so.
They gotta be.
Yeah.
I know the Stars are better.
Yeah. I think they're.
Yeah,
I mean, they're very close. Like I think it's a toss up, but
so Atlanta 6, Memphis 5, Indiana 4. We were right there, and it tragically all changed for them in Game 7 with Tyrese Halliburton's unfortunate injury. 3, next year's team. They always are, the Clippers. Here's my big difference. I have 2, Minnesota. Because where do they play? They play in the West.
Right. Yeah.
And 1, Orlando, because they play in the East.
Well, that's a good way to
Orlando
differentiate.
kind of next year's Indiana.
Feels like it, yeah. I mean, I like what they're building and kind of this roster that they have right now. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see them, especially with the unknown in the East. I could see them kind of having that Pacers. That's a good comparison. I could see them having that Pacers type run.
I said it last week. Utah, if you didn't get there with Mailman and Stockton, I think it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
New Orleans, hopeless. Phoenix, been in the league. They're probably the longest member of the league that's never won it. I think that's right. Certainly in that town. Maybe Sacramento all the way back to Rochester Royals, but we're not going back that far.
No.
Not happening. Charlotte, hard for them to ever get anything going. Brooklyn, especially now in the back, decidedly in the shadow of the Knickerbockers. Atlanta, no. So I don't know really if any of these, except for Orlando or Minnesota.
Yeah.
What if that's your final next year? I'd sign up for that now.
I'd be completely fine with it. I don't know how we might be having the same conversations.
Really could be.
But
kind of medium-sizedville?
It would be kind of not necessarily Smallville, but it's not. It ain't big time. That's for sure. It kind of be that medium size.
And Friday we were talking about the rating. The over and under was set by BetAG.com at 17.5 million. Came in under at 16.6.
I saw that, and I was kind of surprised because came in under that number, but I saw some like the most
share
watched
was
Game
great.
7. Yeah, it's like most watched Game 7 the last 7 years or something like that. So I was a little surprised about that.
Number of viewers 16.6 million, which was I thought it would go over.
Yeah, no, I thought it would certainly be close. I probably would have leaned over, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's just reflective of kind of what that finals was, and I guess not a lot of people interested in it, but I feel bad for the people that didn't watch it because it really was a phenomenal NBA Finals.
Real quick, college basketball question today. It's out there that it being reported very widely. A lot of Oxford-based people that Chris Beard and Ole Miss has entered into a series of 2-game series against NC State. Both will be on neutral. So that'd be Beard against Will Wade. 2 terrific coaches. The first one will be next year, and it won't be part of the SEC ACC challenge, but it will be in Greensboro. That's the neutral. That's real close, but that's neutral. And that Ole Miss wants. They're going to have a neutral, and they want something close. That's got to be FedEx Forum, doesn't it?
It could be FedEx Forum. I know, they had that event last year alongside Mississippi State where they played in South Haven. I mean, maybe that's maybe that's an option. But yeah, I mean, if you're going close, those two venues are very close and in the neighborhood. So.
Now there should be no blowback about FedEx Forum and having Ole Miss play a game there, is it?
I don't think so.
That doesn't involve the Tigers. I remember Ole Miss playing Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
A league game at the Pyramid.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'd
bigger
love
gate,
that.
better money.
Mm-hmm. And that'd be a great game to go to. I mean, NC State and Ole Miss, those two coaches, they're going to have competitive teams out there. I mean, that would be a fun game to go to, whether it's in Memphis or South Haven. I mean, if it's on this side of Oxford, closer to Memphis, then yeah, I mean that'd be a fun game to go to wherever it is. And you got to imagine if it's going to be kind of on the Memphis side of Oxford, it's got to be at one of those places.
But it wouldn't be Nashville. That's not really close for either one.
Exactly. Especially if Greensboro is gonna if you're gonna do Greensboro.
Ole Miss does the Nashville thing with SEC tournament.
That's exactly right.
That's got to be FedEx Forum.
It's got to be. I mean, I don't know when we will hear. I probably next year at some point where that location is going to be, but that's something to keep an eye on of where they might play that game because that'd be a really fun one to go to. Well, we got to get to a break, but before we do that, let me remind you about our friends down at Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for some of the biggest brands in Western wear. Head down there and check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, just to name a few. Frontier Western Store, it's the one-stop shop for so many different Western wear brands, but it is the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to their shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you might be in the market for. But if you need a new pair of jeans, Frontier is the perfect place to go. They've got you covered with some of the great brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect style and size for you. And at Frontier Western, their pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Are you facing an unexpected financial emergency? You need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com could help you get up to $3,000 fast. WeFixMoney.com is free to use, available 24/7, and has an A rating with a Better Business Bureau. Go to the name you trust, WeFixMoney.com. If you need emergency cash up to $3,000 for bills or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly in your browser. That's WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com.
Mid-South, if you're looking for a great deal, get to Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat for the employee pricing plus sales event. 2025 Dodge Hornet GT Buy it for $26,457 or $344.68 a month. That's over $5,000 off MSRP. 2025 Jeep Compass Latitude 4-wheel drive. Over $6,000 off MSRP at $23,541 or $297 a month. And 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 5-foot 7-box rear-wheel drive. Over $11,000 off MSRP at $36,869 or just $511.87 a month or 1.9 for 72s available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat on the Pipe or online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motorcars.
TS38 46076 MSRP 31590. Compass ST 567703 MSRP 29765. Ram SN 728 346 MSRP 48260. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock owner.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Tito's handmade vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your life brilliantly, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Sports Time on Sports 56 and 95 once again, our records remain with Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, my big number today comes from Major League Baseball, and it's somebody that really, I mean, you know, he puts the big number today.
He puts the dump in dumper.
He puts the dump in big dumper.
Oh, man.
32 home runs. 32 is my big number. Another home run last night for Cal Raleigh.
On pace for 67.
Just an incredible start to the season for him. We talked about it yesterday about how he has already shot through and broken the record for most home runs by a catcher before July, before the All-Star break. But I saw this, and I thought this was interesting. So, again, you know, Cal Raleigh playing out far out west in Seattle, so maybe not everybody watching him every night. Cal Raleigh is a switch hitter. He bats from both sides of the plate. And somebody ranked catchers by home runs, but they said this was on Twitter. This comes from Gary Hill Jr. On Twitter, and he ranked home runs by catchers, but he said it's not fun when you do Cal Raleigh because he is so far and ahead above everyone. So he did Cal Raleigh, but separated Cal Raleigh by lefty-righty splits. So here is the top 4 in catcher home runs. Number 1, left-handed Cal Raleigh. Left-handed Cal Raleigh has hit 21 home runs this season. Number 2 is Logan O'Hoppe, the catcher for the Angels. He has 17 on the season. Third is Memphis's very own Hunter Goodman for the Rockies. He is at 14 for the season. Tied for 4th with Austin Wells is right-handed hitting Cal Raleigh at 11. So if you just break him down by side of the plate, he is still top 5 in home runs hit in Major League by catchers. That is just crazy stuff from Cal Raleigh.
You look at their lineup, and he's batting between J-Rod and a Rosarina, and they're not tearing it up.
No, it's been quiet seasons for both of those guys. But you're looking this month, the bats are starting to wake up a little bit. Last night, a bunch of home runs hit by that entire roster. I don't remember how many, at least 3 that I saw. So yeah, I mean, maybe turning things around. But you got to imagine if those two can get heated up. I mean, that is a killer 1, 2, 3 in a lineup of if you're a pitcher and you have to face Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, and Rosarina. That is 3 guys that are going to be very tough to get out.
It's a mad dash for all those AL wildcard spots. Right now, Seattle would be the 6th seed, the third and final AL wildcard spot. That means they would open against the 3 that would be every game at Yankee Stadium. My big number is 429 in this baseball as well. Giancarlo Stanton is the active leader in home runs with 429. Second is Mike Trout with 390. Wow. Third is Paul Goldschmidt with 370. Imagine a healthy Mike Trout. Couldn't you easily tack on another 100?
Oh, man, easily.
So it would already be around 500. And I'm getting to my point about 500. We got 1 or 2 in here that's going to get there. I think Stanton will get to 500, and I think on down the list we've got a couple. But we could be at the end of 500 home run baseball players. Goldschmidt with 370. Machado at 4th at 355. Freddie Freeman 5th with 352. Nolan Arenado with 351, good for 6th. Bryce Harper 7th. Aaron Judge is going to get to 500. Right now he is 8th with 343. With Stanton and Judge, that may be the only 2 that gets to 500.
It really could be. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to believe, but based on a lot of things, you could be seeing those 2 guys. But yeah, I mean, if Mike Trout was anywhere near just being healthy consistently, oh yeah, I think he'd easily be there. But
really sad.
It's just, it feels like every single year that he's going to miss a good amount of time.
Between hurt and playing out there.
And that's the other thing.
We hadn't got to enjoy it.
No, I mean, just star written all over him, but just so many different factors, the 2 biggest being injuries and the team he's playing on. He just has kind of
Bryce
been lost
Harper,
out there.
7th with 345. Does he get there?
He could.
That's close.
It'd be tough. I mean, it'd be one of those where it's getting scary late on if he can get.
Every one of those players are Hall of Famers we named, didn't it?
No doubt about
Freeman, Arenado, all the names. Machado, all of them.
Oh yeah, all of them. All of them.
I think so.
Guys.
I think so too. I know all the summer road trips should start at Olive Branch. Let the summer fun begin at Olive Branch with our friends at All-Star Chevrolet. Get your new and affordable 26 All-Star Chevy Equinox right there in Olive Branch with financing down to 6.6% for 72 months. Go big and get a new Silverado 2500 HD with financing as low as 3.9% for 60 months, not a payment due for 90 days. The new 25 Silverados with $6,500 cash back and financing down to 2.9% for 36 months. There's a price point and there's a vehicle for everybody out there. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, recent grad, educator, military, you get an extra $500 bonus back. All the certified and pre-owns you can imagine, Tahoes and Silverados, a Corvette Stingray, and more Tahoes and Silverados than you'll find in one place anywhere in our area. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star and Olive Branch and get the most cash back for it today. Enjoy that summer road trip. Let's drive something from All-Star. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to wrap up this second hour, get to another break, and when we return, we're talking a whole lot of NFL. We also got to make our quarterback rankings for the NFC East. We'll do all of that next with Beau Marchant.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot shop? showroom, it continues to expand. New styles by area just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier is the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-694-1127. 800-694-1127. That's 800-694-1127.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year. K4 SE 137 210, MSRP 24,340, K5 S5 36,6209, MSRP 29,170, Sportage SG 271,1755, MSRP 34,115, Telluride SG 66 2001, MSRP 41,060. Must finance through KFA, excludes tax and license with approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 07/2/25.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear the Gossett Kia summer sticker sales event is on now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
It sure is, Randy, and listen to this. I've got a 2025 Kia K4 LXS at $150 a month. That's $5 a day for a new ride. 2025 Kia K5 LXS, $265 a month. 2025 Kia Sportage X-Line, $275 a month. Plus 2025 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $359 per month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease.
Plus a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty in the all-new 2026 DB9 with 72 months and 3.49 available.
So if you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free Green Egg Grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, this special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Afternoon, trying to build with more traffic volume out of Midtown. We had some rain showers go through our area a little while ago. May still see some up in Tipton County as it gets heavy now on I-40 here at the bridge as you head across the river there over into West Memphis. Starting to pick up south of Memphis with that traffic flow on 55 down through South Haven. Dandelions, crabgrass, lawn solutions here in Memphis says, give them a call. They'll take care of your yard this summer. That's Lawn Solutions, 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Love City. Once again,
You say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand. You said you
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios as we start our third and final hour. And every single Tuesday at this time, we talk the NFL, and we do it every single week with Bo Marchant.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NFL. A lot to get to, but it's the first week of our quarterback rankings. Hard to believe that we're already to the time of the year where they're ranking quarterbacks. Bo, how's it going this afternoon? How we're ranking the quarterbacks in the NFC East?
You know what? I was surprised by how lackluster a certain quarterback was last year statistically, and the record proved it as well. And we'll get to that. I think, I don't know. Well, Brian, you're the outlier here because of a particular team that plays in this particular division. But I think me and Brett will be more in parallel with one another. I don't know. But listen, just for you guys saying that, listen, if you're driving on your commute home or away from wherever you're going in the Memphis area and you're listening to Sports 56, you got to love the idea that we're talking QBs.
Oh, man.
Because it's here, folks. It's here. It's here.
Yes, sir. I love when we start this. We'll do AFC East next week, but today the NFC East, and I'll go first. How can you start with anybody else other than Jalen Hurts? Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Group block on that one.
I have the Commanders QB1.
Wow.
You have Jaden Daniels. Wow. You know Hurts was MVP of the Super Bowl.
He was, but he has an MVP team. And I think if you put Daniels on that same team, and listen, Philadelphia is a gritty, tough team. Like Jalen Hurts is the perfect quarterback for that team. Tough. I mean, he squats a Volvo. That's why they can do the tush-push with, basically 100% efficiency. But I just think if you're giving me any quarterback in that division right now, and I'm starting my team in that division, I want the guy that was rookie last year in Jaden Daniels and Washington Commanders. That would be my one.
Bo, I am not. I am not saying you're wrong. I respect it. I was talking earlier about being the different guy. I don't mind that at all. But isn't that right there kind of a microcosm of everything Jalen Hurts has faced from Alabama on in his football life? Look, they packed him up and told him to transfer, that they had the new hot shot whiz kid in Tua, and you need to find a place to go play at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, at drafts, and now after winning a Super Bowl MVP, there's always a shinier toy, we think, when it comes to Jalen Hurts, isn't it?
We do, but you know what, though? I think quarterback play, and I kind of put this on quarterback play, I don't think you could, again, this is the Philadelphia Eagles were Super Bowl champions, and, maybe the Lions, some other teams are comparable with the roster talent that they have. And without Daniels, the Washington Commanders aren't playing the Eagles in the NFC, championship game. It's not even close. They're not even in the playoffs. They're just, Tyler Heineke, and they're just flip-flopping around at like 5-12. So I on quarterback play, and you're not going to find another guy who loves Jalen Hurts more than me. And it's, but I mean, the way he handled himself at Alabama in that moment, and that's pure as pure can be. There's no rehearsal. This is live moment, and he handled it. And for him to become a Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, I mean, there was nobody happier than me, because I just think this kid has been a solid act all his life. But I just think quarterback play, and if I'm looking at last year, and I'm looking forward, I think the sky's the limit. And you know what? Daniels could take a step back. They could figure him out. But even with that said, I mean, you're talking about the moxie and the way this kid carried himself as a rookie. And I liked him more than Caleb Williams, but I'm high on Caleb Williams coming out this. I expect the world out of Caleb Williams in year 2. But I was a guy on the Daniels wagon last year. I would have took him 1. And, it looked good last year. Things have changed. I mean, C.J. Stroud looked sensational year 1, big step back in year 2, but the line was bad. So how much was that because of Stroud? So, I expect a rebound for C.J. Stroud. But for me, definitely Daniels 1. And without a question for me, number 2 is definitely Jalen Hurts, without a question. Without a question.
You make a strong case, Bo. I love it. So I really do. I'm going to stay with Hurts 1. I'm going to go with Daniels 2. And I like your reason. I do think Hurts wins if he has to switch jobs with Daniels, and I know Daniels wins if he switches to the Eagles. 3, I have Dak Prescott. And 4, and I think he will be the opening day starter. It will not be Russell Wilson. I have the rookie from Ole Miss, Jackson Dart. Now I want y'all to answer this question for me. And it's obvious they all played in the SEC, but there's something a little more fine-tuned than that. I was going to say common denominator, maybe an uncommon denominator. Tell me what all 4 have in common: Hurts, Daniels, Dak, and Dart in the SEC. We know Daniels won the Heisman, and we know that Hurts, Dak, and Dart did not. So it's not that. But what do they have in common?
I
have no clue.
All four AP first team quarterback. They're at least one time.
That's a good nugget.
Jalen Hurts was SEC Offensive Player of the Year when he was a freshman.
Jalen Hurts was phenomenal. And again, absent of that championship game and Saban just making the switch, I don't know how you do it. And again, Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma in that year was one of the most sensational years we've ever seen in collegiate football, absent of what Joe Burrow did that same exact year that was even a little bit more insane. So, I mean, Jalen Hurts is the guy. But again, Brett, I stick with your Dak, and then obviously Jackson Dart as the 4th guy. And I can't wait till next year. 2026, I'm curious to see how these rankings will come out. Well, does Dart stay, does Dak become 4? Does Dak maybe get back to that MVP level, or is he off the chart completely? 2026 in this division, I think, is going to be exciting for the Giants and the Cowboys.
Let's make a pact that we do the Beast first next year. 52.
Okay.
First of all, let's hope we're all here. 52 weeks from now, we could be owing Bo Marchant a huge, not apology, but the foresight of Daniels over Hurts this time next year.
Definitely could be.
Yeah. You know what it is? I'm looking at quarterback play, not the team. That's where I'm at with that. But I hope I'm right, just because I'm excited to see Daniels. And listen, even being 1 or 2, I mean, if you're in the Olympics and you win the gold medal or the silver medal, you're pretty darn good. That means out of every country, so you got a silver and a gold, or even the bronze, you're on the podium. I know there's only 4 teams, so if you get the bronze, you're kind of at the bottom. But Dak, when I looked at the numbers on getting the Dak, 3 and 5, he threw 8 interceptions in 8 games. 4 of those 8 games, double-digit interception games. So when I looked at some of those numbers, and I know when they went to Cleveland, they looked like world beaters. I'm like, wow, this team looks for real.
Don't forget about the Cleveland game, Bo. Oh, man.
Yeah, that Cleveland game, it was like this team is on their way. And then whatever happened after that
then they
was
weren't.
It was, and it erased all the hope. And we saw how the season ended. And, and as much as Dak, and I think I'm a Dak
It affected
protector.
Bryant's personality, Bo. It really did.
It does. I mean, you got to see him every day. I'm sure he's probably a little bit sour.
No, he did not. He's never sour.
Yeah. Well, Brian, give us yours, because me and Brett gave you. So, are you in line with us, or are you different?
I would like to pivot to Landon's list first, because I after the great explanation you gave for Jaden Daniels, I'm thinking about moving some people around on mine. So I would like a couple minutes to think about it, and I'd like to send it over to Landon for his.
So we're swaying you, huh?
Maybe.
I think you're cheating.
I don't know about that.
I think we all came in with a list, and we should stick to it.
I have my list. I'll tell you what my list is, but it might be changed by the time I give my list.
Okay, that's fine. Well, my number 1 was the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. Then I went Jaden Daniels, number 3, Dak Prescott. And I went with the vet, Russell Wilson, at number 4.
Okay. Very similar around there. So I guess now my
Dart starts opening day.
Landon, you didn't take as long as I thought you were going to take with your list, but that's
so you didn't have time to switch.
Would you like me to expound?
No,
you want us to filibuster a little?
It's okay. No, I got it. Look, I Didn't love my list when I put it together, but after Bo's just beautiful explanation about why he had Jaden Daniels at number 1, I decided to flip these two quarterbacks. I decided to flip him and Jalen Hurts because I just cannot stand seeing Jalen Hurts and a Philadelphia Eagle at number 1 in the list. So I flipped those two names, so now this is what my list looks like. Number 1, Jaden Daniels. Number 2, Dak Prescott. Number 3, Jalen Hurts. And number 4, Russell Wilson.
Come on now. I bet you picked the Cardinals to win it all in baseball this year. That was me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He was using his Cardinals optimism for his Cowboys.
That's right.
So this is our first.
You don't
This
even
is our
like
first
Dak.
ranking.
That's the best part.
You're
You don't even like
he
Dak.
does not.
I don't. You're right. It's a great observation by you, Bo, because I don't know, but it just hurt me. It hurt the idea to put two other quarterbacks, specifically the Commanders quarterback and the Eagles quarterback, ahead of the Cowboys quarterback. So I just had to put Dak at number 2.
But this division stacks up pretty well.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah. And Brett, I love you going with the Jackson Dart. Yeah. Listen, I think it would be sensational if Dart wins the starting job on merit, and he wins that job coming out of camp.
Earns it, not by default.
Yeah, not by default. And if he gets that, I said, well, you know what? The Giants really believe in this kid, and he's doing everything correct. And think about this. We know Winston was the first pick of the entire draft. He's going to beat him out. And then you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Russell Wilson that he would beat out. Those are pretty strong credentials for a rookie to come in. So when you doing that, saying that, I hope it happens, because if it happens, the Giants are going to be elated what they got in their first round quarterback pick of this year. I'm excited for that outcome in terms of what it would mean and who he's beating out. You know, he's not going in there and just saying, like a Tyler Shugg in New Orleans where, all right, Carr retired, there's nobody else on the roster. You basically fell into it. This is a different situation in New York, and if he's able to do that, I applaud it. And you guys know I love Dart, so I'm all aboard that idea of Dart being day one guy when week 1 starts.
Yeah, we're all for it now. It's all fun and games on June 24th for Jackson Dart and wishing him well in New York until you get to opening day and you get to this schedule that starts with at Washington against Jaden Daniels, at Dallas against Dak Prescott, home against Kansas City. We know who's quarterback for them. Home against the Chargers. That's a tough task. And then a road trip to New Orleans. Ooh, I mean, he may be wishing, even by default, I wish Russell Wilson was still the guy.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5-12 last year, so I mean, the way that starts off, they could be on
3-14 last year.
Oh, 3-14. So yeah, 3-14. So it's not an outlier to think that if they win one game in there and have a tough stretch, they'll be disappointed, but they know who they are. But you know what? This is the fun part of it. The schedule's a schedule, but Sundays are Sundays, and we don't know. And it looks bleak for them. But you know what? Who would have thought Washington was the team that they became last year? And if you get a sensational quarterback 2 years ago with the Texans, maybe one of these young guys, in terms of, the quarterbacks that we liked going in this 2025 draft, if one of these guys blossom into what they're supposed to be, then most likely their franchise, their organization, it'll carry through with the same success. And we'll know. It'll be evident to everybody. And it will be evident if it's not that way. If they're lousy and they're not good, then they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But again, until the season starts, we can have expectations, hopes, we can have predictions, studies, but that's the beauty of it. All the work, all the love that we put into this, until these guys get on the field and the live action starts,
that's right,
we won't know till then.
Yeah. Well, speaking of unknown, we got a little clarity today from Aaron Rodgers talking with Pat McAfee, said that this will probably be the last ride, his last season in the NFL. Obviously, he just got to town as the Steelers quarterback. What do you make of that news that we kind of, I think, expected that with him just signing a 1-year deal, but what do you make of him now putting it to words of this will likely be it?
I think you took the bait. He put the worm in the water, and anyone who bit on that He never tells anyone anything ever. So why is he going to tell us a year before this happens? This is what he's doing. It's brilliant Aaron Rodgers doing what Aaron Rodgers does best, keeps us interested, curious, and he gave us the known to eventually lead us to what will happen after the season's over, to the unknown. And imagine if the Steelers have a fantastic season, he's at an MVP level. Do we really think he's going to walk away? And on the vice versa side, if the Steelers collapse and he's awful, then we know what direction it's going to go, because nobody's going to want him, because he'll be 42 years old, and the last 3 seasons haven't been remarkable. But I looked at it, and one thing, the more I listen to Aaron Rodgers, especially what he said today, and he says, well, when I'm done, you're not going to hear from me. I actually want to hear from Aaron Rodgers. When we get these guys in the booth and they're talking games, if there's one guy out there who has the credentials, mind you, Super Bowl MVP, 4-time league MVP, he has the guts to call anybody out, and he has the credentials to back himself up. I would love to hear him do a broadcasting thing, because he's not going to hold back. He's going to call it like he sees it. He might be a little weird, but that's part of it. But I think he would be honest and sincere. We know he knows the game, and I hope he doesn't fade off to the oblivion. I don't think that's going to happen. And the 1-year thing, I find that a little murky at best.
I know he does this hit every week. He's on time every time with Pat McAfee. I just can't imagine in retirement that he would want to be nailed to having to be somewhere at a certain time every day, every week during the football season.
Well, that's a good point. But I just don't see him leaving. At least now doing it. Not that I'm on Aaron Rodgers' level, but in terms of my running streak, I can't imagine you telling you, like, hey, a year from now I'm going to end my streak and I'm not going to do it anymore. I think there's a moment where you really know where you can't do it anymore. And, we saw that in, Moneyball, when they say, hey, the game, there's a point in everybody's life where, you can't play the game. And that happens to all of us. It could happen. It's going to happen to Aaron. But I think a guy on his level, I think he wants to go out on his terms. And if he thinks there's something left come the birth of the 2026 off season, and maybe he re-signs with the Steelers, or maybe there's another team, whatever. I just think if he has a fantastic season, a good season, I just think his love for the game and what he loves to do, the camaraderie of teammates, throwing the football, you've been doing it since you were a young kid. I mean, just to say, hey, on what's today, June 24th, 2025, that you're going to say, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. I question that a lot.
Haven't you already kind of turned it off a little bit if you've got the expiration date? I mean, it's not just winding the motor down. Haven't you shut it off a little bit?
I think they all get to that point where they know. I think it's because it's where you're at. I mean, if you're Travis Hunter for the Jacksonville Jaguars and you're a rookie, the sky's the limit. You're just
he can't imagine being 35.
Yeah, and if you're Aaron Rodgers, this is your 20th year in the league, or you're going into your 20th or 21st year in the league. Yeah, you're at the point where, you're at the end of the marathon. You see the finish line. So you start to adapt to, okay, we got 6 miles left before we cross the finish line. When you're at mile 1, you don't know what's going to happen. But now he's at that point. He's about to cross that finish line. He's going to get his gold jacket in Canton. But I don't trust him enough to give us the end of the story, because he's the only guy that leaves us hanging on by a thread to read the next chapter when he decides to let us know when the next chapter is going to be written. So I just think it's him being too honest. He's never been that open about anything he's done. So that's why I really don't take much, I don't hold much water to what he said, just because he never, ever, ever gives us an inkling to anything that he's going to do or when he's going to do it.
Bo, different sport. I read a big, long, it was well done, long think piece by an Arkansas-based writer, and it was a defense of John Calipari's just won one. And now this guy would have never written this story if he had stayed at Kentucky. He's only writing it through the prism of propping up what he covers and what he likes. but he was taking real exception at people. He didn't name me. He didn't know I'm alive, but people that pick at John Calipari for just winning one. Aaron Rodgers is going to get that gold jacket, but he's going to have just one Lombardi trophy.
He's going to have one, but, you look at the era. I mean, who is he playing with? Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and I'm sure, all these other guys, Mahomes. So, to think that he got one, it's hard. It's a team game. I love Dan Marino. Probably one of my favorite players of all time. Second year he goes and plays the 49ers. You think year 2 of his career after he passes for 5,000 yards, he's going to be there multiple times. You're going to be able to count them on both hands how many times Dan Marino arrives in the final game of the National Football League. And as you guys all know, it never happened again. So I don't, greatness is always put on the rings, but I think there is something when you look outside the spectrum of it, like an Eric Dickerson. I don't care what anyone says. He's not one of the greatest running backs I've ever seen, ever. He never got a Super Bowl.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. Yeah, right? I mean, and Barry was playing with Emmett. They were both in their twilight together, their heyday and their twilight together. And, as much as Emmett was winning Super Bowls, there was a heck of a party out there that was saying, listen, number 22 is doing his thing in Dallas, but we're not sure if 20 isn't the best one doing his thing in Detroit. And, and that's the beauty of it. Just to be on that level, you're in a place where you're special. Aaron Rodgers is special. We know that. His personality, it's weird. He can throw us off beat. And, at the end of the day, I think like any, how can I put it? Like anyone in that entertainment world or in the world of celebrity, there's those peaks and valleys. And, he was endearing to everybody, and he kind of is in that weird phase. And who knows, maybe 5 years from now, he's the guy that we talk about. Maybe is, the best announcer on TV, or he's doing something where we're like, wow, that's why he was a great football player.
Or he's gone full Cat Stevens and he's living like in the Himalayas.
He could be doing that. I don't doubt he does that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and it does something where he remains vibrant. Maybe he comes on the McAfee show every Tuesday still, 5 years from now. I don't know if we want to hear about him.
And those guys,
we might.
They all think about getting away and hiding and just, going. I said it one time, I thought Tom Brady and Giselle would get a Scottish manner out by themselves and slip away from it all and never be seen. Here's what they have to have. They have to have that ovation. They have to have that notoriety. They have to have at dinner, they hear from the other table, hey, there's Aaron Rodgers. That's Aaron Rodgers.
Right. And I think that's part of it. I think that's part of what makes them who they are and why we crave to see them and all the things that go in with being a celebrity or a professional athlete at the elite level. And when you have the accomplishments of an Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, it's hard. You as a fan, you can't look at their credentials and say, wow, this is amazing. And, and just there was a reason why his first day of minicamp in the south side of Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago, it looked like a training camp day in Latrobe. It was a packed house of media, national media, local media, all because of Aaron Rodgers being there. And that's the swag. That's the way that they bring it. And that's why when he comes on McAfee, everyone listens in. Everyone, that's why we're talking about it today. Aaron Rodgers said this, and he's such a lightning bolt, a curiosity machine that you just love talking about him because, one, he's a fantastic football player. He has a little edgy attitude, and he brings all these charismatic qualities that say, man, this guy's fun talking about. Good or bad, love him or hate him, he's fun to talk about, and he's fun to watch.
Yeah, he definitely is fun to talk about, fun to watch. He makes a lot of headlines, and we'll see what he can do this year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Stay safe, gentlemen. Thank you always.
Right back at you.
Great
Bo.
stuff.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bo Marchant joining us like he always does on Tuesday afternoons to talk the NFL. again, hard to believe that we just got done with our first division quarterback ranking. It's how fast time moves,
One down, 7 to go.
That's right. So that is definitely exciting. What are we going to, I guess we didn't decide, or we're going to go to the AFC East next week, right?
AFC East.
Okay, cool. So AFC East next week, that will be a ton of fun. Well, we need to get to another break, but before we do that, let me remind you about Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. They're our 5 o'clock sponsor each and every afternoon. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com. Head out there and test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Vargas. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in the 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from the Mediterranean diet to steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meat. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper is more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it. A beloved family affair is still going strong since 1948. Rendezvous.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
Small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
I've got it on the line. Marty McNeil in Cosby Volkswagen Germantown, and he's ready to put you in a new Volkswagen today.
That's right, Randy. Guess what I've got available now? 2025 Jettas and 2025 Toyotas. 4.9% for 60 months. I've also got 25 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. 3.9% for 60 months.
What else you got over there, Marty McNeil?
On top of that, get 1,500 loyalty rebate on all 2025 GTIs, Jettas, Teos, Tiguans, Atlas, and Atlas Cross Sports.
And you were telling me earlier you got $5,000 off 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SCR lines, but only 2 left, so you got hurt.
So come see me today, Marty McNeil at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettBWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make of it.
Traffic Report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's still a bit heavy through certain parts of Midtown. I-40 up by Chelsea, dodging some thunderstorms and some rain over in West Memphis right now. As you head across the bridge down I-40, certain sections there, you may run into some nasty thunderstorms. Still heavy over here, but moving 40 east at Sycamore View Road all the way out past Germantown Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see David at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios as we got about less than 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. A couple things trending that I know we want to get to today, but it feels like NBC starting to roll out their entire NBA coverage team. And the big name that is popped up today, Grant Hill, will be joining NBC's NBA coverage as an analyst for the 2025-26 season. So that'll be fun to see him on there. And obviously was a part of the TNT coverage for a while, but now heading to NBC to stay with the NBA. Some other things, let's see, not surprisingly, those who previously worked for Turner Sports were going to be coveted, and many have already landed new gigs, including Ian Eagle, who will be with Amazon Prime Video and their NBA coverage, Kevin Harlan, who has a verbal agreement with Amazon, Reggie Miller, who will be with NBC, Stan Van Gundy, who will be with Amazon Prime Video, Taylor Rooks, who will be with Amazon Prime Video, and several others. So we're seeing a lot of these commentators and people from the NBA that were at TNT starting to find, whether it's NBC or Prime, finding that new spot for them now that the NBA will no longer be on TNT.
And with that Grant Hill news in that release, it went on to mention that he will continue his NCAA tournament coverage on TNT.
Yeah.
Here's my question. You wouldn't share, air quotes here, talent with anybody. I mean, there's no way ABC was going to let Howard Cosell do a little something else with somebody else, or Keith Jackson in college football, and he can do college football at ABC, and we'll let him do whatever wherever else he could do, and he did other sports well. He was a great baseball announcer. He was a really good NBA announcer, and now that's being done a lot. You see it every morning with Michael Strahan on that desk at Good Morning America on ABC, and for 20 Sundays a year, 20 weeks a year involving the playoffs, he's on that Fox NFL crew. Grant Hill good enough to be shared at two places?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's probably fine to be at two places. I don't know who you really get that would be, miles and miles better than him.
We couldn't get somebody, though?
I mean, you probably could, but, I mean, he's a guy, he's a name brand, he, played in the league, I mean,
you can't tell him or his representation, and I don't know if he has any. He may do it himself, certainly bright enough to, as most of them probably are. But you couldn't tell him, we get all of you, we don't want you.
Sure. Yeah, well, I think that's the interesting part about it is him doing work with TNT, but also going to be a part of NBC. And I don't know kind of what went into that, if it's because it's not a conflict of interest with TNT no longer having NBA, or maybe if TNT has worked some deal out with the NBA. We know the pre and post game crew will be leased to ESPN. Maybe there's some sort of deal there, or some sort of working agreement where, you can be at TNT, but since we no longer have basketball, but we still have a good relationship with the NBA, you can go over and work for NBC. I don't know what that is, but it seems like that is kind of a pipeline of these people going from TNT to those other spots, and it seems like I would be surprised if he is the only one that you never see again or that you ever see again on TNT. So I'd be curious to see what kind of went into that.
And like a lot of places, all this great top tier talent is finding all the new avenues that's going to be carrying the NBA. And it reminds me when it was, Brian, it was revolutionary that NFL and particularly the NFC was leaving CBS to go to, really at that time, Goofy Fox. I mean, the biggest thing at Fox then was Melrose Place, and a great Saturday Night Live skit about the new talent. And somebody back then said, "Here's who they're going to hire. They're going to hire everybody at CBS, and they're going to go with them."
Exactly,
and they all did.
Yeah.
Producers, techs, on air, everything, camera, everything.
Yeah. No. So there should be no surprise at all that you're seeing all these familiar names and guys that worked at that worked at TNT making that transition to either NBC or Amazon Prime. It just makes the most sense to take those guys and girls and move to the other networks. So not surprising at all, but it is notable that Grant Hill will be with NBC for the NBA, but then come NCAA tournament, he'll be back with TNT.
I don't think he's ever said a memorable word on college basketball.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, I certainly not on college basketball, but I think it's one of those things we talk about a lot. It's easy, I mean, especially if you're going to go and take, people from TNT, it's just easy to say, all right, come on, you did fine at TNT with the NBA coverage. Come on over to NBC. Hey, you've been with TNT. I guess we don't really want to go look for someone else for college basketball. We'll keep you here for college basketball as well. It's just easy, and I feel like nowadays a lot of people are just making the easy decision, whether that's the best decision or not.
It's just easy. Instead of, okay, maybe develop someone new, somebody fresh.
Yeah. But no, that'd take too much work, Brett.
That's it.
Way too much work. It's just easy, As long as Grant Hill wants to do it, Grant Hill's got it, and it looks like we'll be getting a lot of him next year.
I mean, when you watch him in the NCAA tournament, first, if it comes to the talent, we're watching for Bill Raftery.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, that's the name brand there. So I don't know.
I know he played. I know he was a champion. I know all that good stuff. I know the story of his parents. I know all that.
Sure.
He just not a memorable word said to me.
Yeah, no. I'm with you on that. But I think just unfortunately, it is the easy thing to do for them, and we've seen we're going to see a lot of people from TNT over to NBC and even Amazon Prime, which I'm really curious to see the Amazon Prime crew and it as a whole and what they look like next year on those games. Brett, you mentioned you wanted to bring back up this John Calipari story before we ran out of time. I'm very curious of kind of this story when it comes to John Calipari. Got me, Brett? I think we might have lost Brett there. Did we lose Brett? I think we might have lost Brett there for a second. I don't know. Yeah, I think we lost Brett. Well, we'll get him back on with us in a second. Just lost him. Looked like Wi-Fi might have gotten there for both of us. Just Landon, let me know when we get him back. But I know Brett wanted to talk about this story about John Calipari, so we'll definitely try to get to that story with him. But before we get him back, now getting closer and closer to the NBA draft, I wanted to mention a couple of things about the NBA draft before we ran out of time. One being the report that came out yesterday that really nobody wants to work out for the Charlotte Hornets. Obviously, a team that is very young, has a couple star players, has had a couple of top picks in the last couple of years, but it looks like nobody really wants to work out for him. Con Knippel, the only notable player that has worked out for them over this draft period. So we'll see who their pick is, and sounds like probably Con Knippel, or we could see them trade back. Brett, we got you back. I know you wanted to touch on this John Calipari story before we ran out of time. Obviously, a lot going on around the world that we could touch on during What's Trending.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't remember this person's name, but I read it was a long piece really going after everybody around the rest of the college basketball universe that picks at him. Arkansas is going to be loaded next year.
Oh, yeah.
I think Arkansas could be picked by many to win it all. What's new with John Calipari and amassing a lot of talent, but he's just won. Again, I'm sorry I can't remember this person's name, and I know now, I know 100% why he's writing it. This person would not have written that if he's still at Kentucky and still underachieving every year in the tournament.
Of course not. No.
But now it's everybody put all the pieces back together, a cow, and out of that Arkansas disaster last week, it's so easy to forget that big choke against Texas Tech.
Yeah. No, it is.
And he's assembling all these players again, playing on all these exotic places again. John Calipari, take 25. We know this story.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's copy paste every year of the offseason expectations, being a top 10, top 15 team.
But he's our son-in-law now, so we got to defend him.
Yeah, you got to defend him and get that. Well, and another thing, Brett, when you talk about Arkansas, it's what we talked about a lot with the baseball team. Of how far do they go will dictate what we kind of see, what we hear, what that focus turns to afterwards. They come up short again in Omaha, and so now you're just kind of looking towards football season, towards basketball season, trying to get some of that interest and excitement.
Are they looking to football season?
And that's exactly my point.
Because you can't spell Liberty Bowl without Sam Pittman in it.
That's true. And so if there's not much excitement about football, you go to the next best thing, and that's basketball, and start getting excited for basketball season.
In June.
And what, John? It's June, Brett. It's writing season. It's list season.
Where were they at bracketology today?
I didn't see Arkansas. I know they're in there, but I did not see exactly. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Obviously, when you get all of those teams in there, you kind of lose track on where each individual team is at. But it's the same old story every single year with John Calipari and where he can be. Let's see. Now that I have it up, let's see where Arkansas is. Arkansas is a 5 seed in the Buffalo region, playing Yale in the first round in Joe Lunardi's bracketology.
We know how that often ends.
We know you don't want to face Yale in the first round. They are not an easy matchup. Winner would face Michigan State in the second round. So,
well, we know what John Calipari famously did to Tom Izzo with the Tigers.
Well, yes, we do.
It was a stroking of all time.
We do. So, nothing better than looking at June bracketology and where all these SEC teams are. But, of course, kind of talk about same old, same old. A lot of same old for the number 1 seeds in this mock draft. Purdue, Florida, Duke, and Houston. I mean, does that not ring a bell to you? That sounds like
that was last year, wasn't it, except for Purdue?
That's right, yeah. I mean, it feels like almost every year the last couple of years when you talk about bracketology and preseason mocks, it feels like those are 4 teams that it feels like almost every year are in that Final Four.
And that Cal scheduling, every big-name opponent for November and December, it's off somewhere. None of it's at Bud Walton Arena.
No.
Just settle in at conference time. That's the only time you're going to see a good game.
Well, that's a good point because it is a lot of neutral when it comes to John Calipari. But let's get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Crunch Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 912-715-5199.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year. K4 SE 137 210, MSRP 24,340, K5 S5 36 6209, MSRP 29,170, Sportage SG 271 1755, MSRP 34,115, Telluride SG 66 2001, MSRP 41,060. Must finance through KFA, excludes tax and license with approved credit dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 07/2/20. Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear the Gossett Kia summer sticker sales event is on now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
It sure is, Randy, and listen to this. I've got a 2025 Kia K4 LXS at $150 a month. That's $5 a day for a new ride. 2025 Kia K5 LXS, $265 a month. 2025 Kia Sportage X-Line, $275 a month. Plus 2025 Kia Telluride S front-wheel drive, $359 per month. All $49.99 due at signing, 24-month lease.
Plus a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty in the all-new 2026 EV9 with 72 months at 3.49 available.
So if you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details. If you make a number on your scales, you'll love 901-436-0272, 436-0272 for Millington Weight Loss and Wellness, 436-0272 for GLP-1 and NAD Plus injections, and Evolve X. Evolve X melts fat, tightens skin, and works muscles. Evolve X is safer, more affordable than surgery, and it's non-invasive. Contact Wellness Manager Aaron Chesty, 901-436-0272.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. The best deal in town.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day long. It's by far the best deal in town.
That sounds great.
Oh man, it's literally would hit the spot right now. I'm ready. Let's do it. But what I learned today, Brett, is that trades are happening in the NBA. We were told before all of it got kicked off that this was going to be a wild offseason. There was going to be trades that we wouldn't even think would happen this offseason. That it was going to be a fast offseason. Firepower was coming, and we're already seeing it in the first couple of days, and it feels like more to come tonight, more to come tomorrow as we approach the start of the draft, and obviously throughout the draft. Already a busy offseason for everybody, and we know the Grizzlies have been a part of that with the Desmond Bane trade. We'll see tomorrow night if they make more moves around the draft.
Here's what I have learned to appreciate, and I've talked about it a couple times. Chip Carey's been great on Cardinal games. So fun, great storyteller, and I'm glad to have him on Cardinal games. And I want people to remember this. Harry Carey, his grandfather, is so attached to the Cubs, and he should be. Yeah. But he spent 25 years in St. Louis, then a year with Oakland, 11 on the south side with the White Sox, 16 on the north side with the Cubs. We had him for 25 years in St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that was when he was a real broadcaster, not a clown. I said it.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the shot from you. You're right. He kind of turned into something in Chicago.
Don't take full ownership of Harry Carey Cup fans.
No. Definitely can't do that. Well, what I could have done without today, I'm seeing these headlines around. I saw the tweet. We were actually in the middle of a segment when I saw the tweet, and it was attached to the video, but I obviously couldn't listen to the video until we got to a break. But here's the headline. I'll just read the headline from CBS Sports. Nuggets president bizarrely brings up Nikola Jokic trade scenario and how it could, quote, very quickly happen. So this was a press conference that I guess happened earlier today talking about the roster, and he was talking about...
people say that Ja can't be dealt?
Well, yeah, that is true. But I do not think, listening to the audio of it, I think these headlines are reading a little more out there than what he actually said. He was talking about the second apron and salary and all of that stuff, and what he said is, it could take us to a point where we have to do something that I would never want to do in a million years, and that's trade number 15. So, crazy thing to say, no matter what, and that's why it's what I could have done without. Because don't even speak that into existence. Don't even mention that. But there was no intent in his voice of maybe one day, maybe soon, we might try to look to trade Big 15. But definitely, no matter how you cut it, a weird statement.
We saw Luka traded. Any of them can be.
Oh, absolutely can be. Absolutely can be.
What I could have done without, I don't get any of the fascination that a lot of the trade people have for the Grizzlies getting DeMar DeRozan. A little bit like the Marcus Smart deal, it probably would have been a great deal 3 to 4 years earlier. And like the Marcus Smart deal, I don't think you can make DeMar DeRozan want to come here and be happy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think that's a possibility. How about this? Some breaking news coming from Shams Charania. It's being reported that Boston, Atlanta, and Brooklyn are finalizing a 3-team deal. In this trade, the Hawks would receive Kristaps Porzingis and a second-round pick. Oop, I just lost it. And a second-round pick. The Nets would receive Terrence Mann and Atlanta's number 22 pick, and the Celtics would receive Georges Niang and a second-round pick. So, Georges Niang,
new owners of the Celtics want to unload money.
Oh yeah, no, they've got to make some moves. This is a financial thing, and so we're seeing. Just by the minute, it feels like more and more trades coming out there.
Tonight,
oh man, I can't wait. Stay near your phone if you want to keep up.
And to the good people in Oklahoma City, congratulations on your title. Now we're on to the good stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that was fun while it lasted.
We don't care about your title.
We're back. We're here at the off season. Where are you beaming tonight?
Clark and Broadway for Cardinals and Cubs. Jamison Towns 7-4 versus 1-2. Michael McGreevy, 16 inning pitched in his three starts this year. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty good when the Cardinals have used him. Beam me actually to tomorrow, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Pirates and Brewers at 1 p.m. Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski, two
good
great young pitchers. That's
before
we
reassemble. Yeah, you exactly beam there and then beam right back here. And beaming machine.
Man, it's beaming machine's beautiful.
15 baseball games tonight. 18 out of 30 teams 500 or better. Tariq Skubal for the Tigers against the A's, and a rematch of the 76 World Series, Yankees and Reds in Cincinnati.
Yeah, going to be a fun night. Chase Burns making his MLB debut for the Reds and that one against the Yankees, so it will be a fun night of Major League Baseball. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.